Good morning and welcome to Sunday Morning Coffee with KetoSimple. This stream will be starting soon, so grab your coffee, get comfortable, and settle in. We're building a strong and supportive community, so say hello in the chat, ask questions, and feel free to use super chats. Thank you for being here and being a part of this journey. Let's keep it positive and respectful as we connect and grow together. I can't wait to get started. Good morning, everybody. I am feeling so much better. I'm back in the land of the living. I'm not coughing and hacking and sneezing and body aches and chills and all that stuff anymore. Just a slight cough here and there. I don't think that's ever going to go away. Seems like it's here to stay. Anyway, thank you for being a part of this live this morning. My name is Dustin. Welcome to KetoSimple, where we talk about all things low carb, keto, carnivore, all those things. My journey from over 420 some pounds to where I am now. So glad you are all here. So grab your coffee and buckle up. Anyway, good morning. Who is all here? We've got United Carnivores in the house. Greetings from Tampa Bay. Glad. Thank you. I think your name is Matt. Is that right? Or am I just totally confused? I don't mean to. I can barely remember my own name sometimes, so bear with me. My apologies. Evelyn is here. Good morning, friends. I'm Holland, y'all, from Eaton, Ohio. If you know, you know. I know. I am so glad you get to go down and hang out with friends this morning. Make sure to give all the hugs and loves and all the awkward things that come from knowing me. If you know, you know. Christian Delorme already kicking things off with a $2 super chat and $2 Canadian. Bonjour, everybody. Oh, I'm so glad you're here, Mr. Christian Delorme. I'll be joining Mr. Christian sometime soon. I'm going to be doing, I think, a Tom Petty chat, a Tom Petty kind of retrospective type chat he's got going on. Hopefully, I will learn some more things about Mr. Tom Petty that I did not know already. Been a big fan for a long time, and I'm looking forward to that chat. It's going to be a lot of fun. As soon as if you want Mr. Delorme, put that information in here when that will be, and I will be joining him intermittently here when I have a chance. He reaches out to me and offers me opportunities to be on his streams. Sometimes I can make it, sometimes I cannot. Like tonight, he offered me a stream. But we will be doing Keto Crusade at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Myself, Victor, and Chris. Be sure to mark your calendar, set your alarms, be there or be square. You know? Christian says, good news, great news, good news, the best news. We are making pumpkin sausage soup today. An idea we got off of you guys on here. Well, that's one of my favorite soups, and I'm super stoked for you to try it if you haven't tried it already. So please let me know how that goes, because it's flippin' delicious. If you know, you know. Rockin' Keto Amy is in the house. Good morning. So glad you are here. Saying hello to everyone. Brian Doyle's in the house. Good morning, Mr. Doyle. Hope you are doing well. Same for you, Mr. Jeffafa. Good morning, Mr. Foltz. I hope you're doing wonderful as well. My good friend Sean Bradley's in the house. Good morning, Sean. I'm glad to see you are here this morning. Hope you're doing well as always. Everybody's saying good morning. Booby Goats is here. Good morning, everyone. So glad to see you here. I just started following your channel not too long ago. Super awesome. Everybody go check her out if somebody would put her link in the chat. All right. Mr. Gugahan is here. Good morning, Mr. Gugahan. Good morning, coffee peeps. That reminds me. It is time for me to take a sip of this coffee. Today's coffee has 5 teaspoons of espresso powder. No shots of espresso because our Nespresso machine, decided it was going to, eject its mortal coil, so to speak, and is no longer with us. It just started leaking into the drawer below, and yeah, so they don't last all that long. This one lasted about 4 months. We got it at the end of October. It was just a cheap Amazon espresso machine. We had gone through multiple Instant Pod iterations, the same model, but we had 4 of them. So for Christmas a few years ago, we decided to upgrade and get the Instant Pod because it did K-Cups and Nespresso pods, and we were super stoked about that because that gave us a little more options. I can get some K-Cup pods or something, if there was something that came along, because you see a lot of them on clearance at Walmart. I was like, okay, this will work. It was $99 at Christmas time. We got one for us. We got one for Cheyenne, our daughter, and and then we used ours and didn't realize, understanding the whole cleaning of it. We didn't understand, I guess, because we didn't read the directions, if you will. And so we went through that one. We ended up buying 2 more on clearance at Walmart. They were like $50. We bought 2 of them. And then we went through those and the one that our daughter gave back to us because she never used it. So we went through 4 of those. We had an espresso machine prior to that, a small one I had got for Shanda for Christmas, because she was spending a large amount of money at Starbucks. She was working 3 days a week at the time, 3 to 4 days a week at the time, and she was stopping every morning by Starbucks to get her iced coffee with triple shot espresso. So it was like, a $10 shot, a $10 drink every morning she was buying. So like every day she was like, every 3 days it was like $30. So we decided to switch over to the Nespresso machine, and that's been saving us a lot of money. But we've been through now 5 machines, and I'm looking at the possibility of the Ninja machine that does the Nespresso pods as well, but it's like $250, and I'm not quite sold on that. The espresso powder that we're buying is 50 shots of espresso for $7. So that might be a better deal for right now, but she doesn't seem to like it as much. So, we're trying to figure stuff out. You know how that goes. Andy is in the house. Good morning, Andy. I'm so glad you are here. Sean says, nothing like being serenaded by your dog snoring in your ear on a Sunday morning. Oh, I feel you. I feel how that goes. We do not have a dog, but if I had a dog, it would be a gigantic dog. It would probably be a snoring dog. Snoring, drooling, scared of its own shadow, 200-pound dog. Probably what we would have. Just some gigantic horse of a dog. That's what I would want. I want a big, giant, just a big, oversized, goofy dog is what I want. But that's if we ever get a dog. But then the logistics of having a dog make things difficult. Then you just can't go somewhere at the drop of a hat. You have to find lodging for the dog or find a way to take the dog with you. And if you got a 200-pound dog, that's a lot of dog to carry around, especially one that's scared of his own shadow. Sandy Blythe is in the house. Good morning, Sandy. Good morning. And Aaron is saying good morning back to Sandy. All right. Amy says hi, Booby Goats. And John Andy saying hello to everyone. People saying hello. I should say it. Hello, everybody. Andy says, just starting to wake up. Got to hug my overnight friends in a minute after I get up. Oh, yeah. You guys are having sleepovers? That's pretty cool. We haven't had a sleepover in a long time. Well, we have leapovers with the girl. But then I usually get roundhouse kicked in the head in the middle of the night because I don't know what she does, but she'd be like kung fu fighting in the night. She's in her battling and adversaries in the dark. Oh, yeah. Easy peasy ketos in the house. Oh, good morning. Good morning, Stacy. How are you and Ken? I hope you're doing the best. I never got to see Tom Petty. So, I mean, that was one of the things I never got to see him. I always wanted to go see him. It's always one of those things like, oh, I'll go see him. And, oh, the next time he comes, I'm going. Next time he comes, I'm going. And then, like, when he comes through, you have something going on. You can't make it. There's been so many, like, I never got to see Alice in Chains with Lane Staley. I never got to see, you know, obviously Nirvana was a thing I didn't get to do because by the time they were truly on my radar, he was gone. And then, you know, all that stuff. You know, there's just been so many groups that I've never got to go see. But I can't complain because I have been so very fortunate over the years to see hundreds and hundreds, if not thousands of bands play. So I don't really consider myself an unlucky person when it comes to music. Tom Petty is one of the best. Donna says, good morning, Dustin. I'm here on Facebook Live Chat. Can't wait for the meetup in Columbus, Ohio this coming Saturday, March the 8th. It'll be Columbus, Indiana, or Columbus, Ohio, March the 8th. So, not this Sunday, but the following Sunday. So, it's 2 weeks from today, March the 8th. Saw Tom Petty at Notre Dame in 1995, I think. Oh, that would have been awesome. Christian says, my stream on Tom Petty will be on Sunday, March 2nd, 6 p.m. Eastern. It will be on my Rumble channel called Vinyl Revival. Okay. So if you don't have the R channel, or the R stream, go check that out. I don't know if YouTube is still kind of weird about that, but you know, I know that they are sometimes weird talking about the other competitors of their streaming services. Sean says, got my labs back yesterday for my wellness physical tomorrow. Fasting blood sugar 94, A1C is 5.1, total cholesterol 359. Can't wait to hear what the new doctor is going to say about that. Well. They're going to be like, we need to get that down, and be like, you know what? I don't think so. But I mean, you have to have that conversation with your doctor. As I am not a doctor, healthcare professional, or a nurse, or anything like that, or nutritionist, or any of those things. I'm just a guy on the internet that talks to you on Sundays and Tuesdays and whenever I decide to make a video. Aaron says, search booby goats. Donna says, good morning. Got you at the beginning today, and I'm excited to have the keto meetup this coming weekend in Columbus. That's I got info from your channel. Yeah, so that's going to be March the 8th in Columbus, Ohio. Aaron said, I am correct about that, right? Aaron, I'm trying to make sure I get everybody's names right. I have a French press as well, and I have a bunch of coffee in the pantry that's probably no longer good. But yeah, we just love Nespresso. Easier just to drink instant, just saying, I get that. But the queen of the house dictates, you know what I'm saying? So we'll see what happens. I wonder how the doctor will feel when I do a fist bump and go, yes, new high score. Well, what about the trigs and all that stuff? I think the trigs is the triglycerides is one of those things I think would be good to take to look at. You know what I mean? Oh, my nose is itchy this morning. I am so sorry. Evelyn's saying hello to a large swath of people here. Donna's here. Good morning, Donna. Good morning, everyone. I got here from the Facebook Live and came over to YouTube. Screencasting to my 55-inch. LOL, I can't see the chat, but I am here. I watch on my TV all the time, and then usually if you're watching on your TV, there's usually you can kind of arrow up, and it'll give you like a bunch of different stuff, and you can usually get that live chat to click on. It doesn't always show everything, but at least as far as my TV goes downstairs, when I'm usually watching it, watching and listening on the TV, and I'm chatting with my phone. That's how I usually do most stuff. So if I'm and my with my phone, it's terrible. Like I misspell things, and it's like I don't know how to type. So if you see me, you know I'm on my phone. Everybody saying hello. I am so happy to be here with you, Evan and Carl, and the girls spending the night. This morning is going to be a busy cooking and having fun. I'm sa- I'm kind of jealous. By kind of jealous, I mean a lot jealous because I would love to be there with you guys, and I'd love to be hanging out and laughing and doing all that stuff. Carnivore K is here. Good morning. And Jeff Fafa says Mastiff. I was thinking like a big old cane Corso. If I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna get a nice big old dog and have it trained, and I mean, like he'll listen to me. I want a dog that listens. At least something in this house that listens to me. The cats don't listen to me. Shannon doesn't listen to me. The granddaughter doesn't listen to me. Nobody listens to me. At least I have you guys. You guys listen to me most of the time. Oh my goodness. I'm a hugger. I love to hug. I'm a big time hugger. You know how that goes. Jeffrey Cox with a 499 super chat. Thank you, thank you, thank you so very much. Morning Rockstar. Gonna listen, not in real time. Up early to do some health admissions. Couldn't resist the hours of money they offered. How is Triple B and E going? We are coming towards the end of the month. So, will I continue Triple B and E after the end of February? Well, I will probably maintain Triple B and E, but be a little more flexible. I like the way I feel. I like that my hunger is even more satiated than normal. Granted, I've also been sick a bulk of this month, at least half of the month. But my appetite really hasn't been there. I think I ate more yesterday than I have most of the month. I had some sausages. Now, I mean, so trying to get through what we have in the freezer too. I had some chicken sausages, so that's not truly Triple B and E, but I had some chicken sausages and some over easy eggs. And then later last night, I was a little peckish, so I decided to make me some burger patties, and I had some mustard on that, and you know how that goes. Um, but I mean, I've been doing Triple B and E. I haven't really been having anything outside of that. You know, we did. So full transparency. The thumbnail here says transparency. I think it was Thursday night. Shander was like, we've kind of come down and got over the being sick. And so we went and got some Thai food. Was that the best thing for Triple B and E? No. But it was a comforting thing, and I know that and it's one of those things like, how do we maintain this lifestyle? And then how do we also, how do we pick and choose when we let things in when we know we shouldn't? And I do a good job by not bringing things into the house. The grocery shopping has been much different as of late. I mean, we've only been buying beef, bacon, eggs, butter. So, I mean, realistically, we've been keeping ourselves on track by being very cautious on what we purchase, what we keep in the house. And I think we put up a lot. And I know the struggle with being sick is kind of an excuse, but I mean, we have to understand ourselves, and we did that. We didn't have any leftovers, and back on track. But I think it was something that we just kind of mentally needed. And I know that sounds counterintuitive, and I mean, your mileage may vary. But like I said, in retrospect of full transparency, we have to make the right choices, how to grow, and without compromise. And I think we have to, and that compromise is knowing ourselves. So, yeah. Andy says, huggers are welcome. If you ever get to a meetup, there are a ton to go around. You will not be lacking of hugs unless you don't try to get some. They are here. I'm a hugger. We will hug sometimes, but I mean, fist bumps and high fives are also very welcome, because I like all of those things, depending on what you are comfortable with. If you want to wave from across the room, fine too. We are here to accommodate. Amy says, I love that you don't have a dog, but know exactly the kind of personality traits it would have. Yes. I mean, so when we had our boy, he had his dog in training classes and dog training classes, obedience training. That the guy who does the training, he his name is Jake, and I'd have to think back of what he's got a whole training thing. He trains police dogs and all that stuff, and goes overseas and works with like German military or whatever, and trains dogs for them and gets all that stuff. And he deals primarily with cane corsos. So he brought out one of his puppies, was a massive, massive puppy. Come and he leaned against me. He just kind of come and hung out with me, leaned against me, and you could feel like his weight. He was like 200 pounds, just a massive dog, but he was such a good boy. And I kind of fell in love. So that's what I want. I want a big dog that's going to be like matches our personalities, not going to be like super like up all the time, like, hey, let's run. Let's run. Oh, I know I don't need that. I don't need some yippy yappy dog. Can't fit in the purse. You know what I mean? It's got to be a dog that's a dog. You know what I mean? I need something that's more intimidating than me, but also will want to smother you to death with love, like me. Oh, Bride's Biscuits in the house. Hi, fam. Sick this morning. Apologies if I sound congested. Well, I understand 1000% what that's like because the last 2-ish weeks we've been that way the entire time. And Aaron said, yes, Aaron, all coffee is good. Well, I appreciate that because coffee is why we're here. Coffee, life, questions, should you have any? All of that. Trigs were 89, HDL 49. So I'm curious to see I'm curious to see what they have to say. I'm really, really curious about that. I'm curious to see. Because I remember I was saying my GP was asking me, how many days a week do you eat red meat? And I'm like, all of them. And like, well, you want to cut back some? I'm like, my numbers have been better year over year, and you're still asking me to cut out red meat, and that's primarily what I eat. If my numbers are getting better, why would you ask me to change what I'm doing? If I'm getting healthier per your numbers and per your old statistics, why would you want me to change? Why would you ask me to change something that's working? That's one thing I don't understand about our current healthcare community or healthcare environment. If something isn't working, they don't have you change it. They just give you a pill. If something is working, they want you to change it and give you a pill. So that's just one of those things that drives me absolutely up a wall. And we'll touch more on that in a little bit. Evelyn says, I don't like instant. My face doesn't like instant. My face curls and scrunches up when I say it, and it can't be controlled. Well, no matter what, I still put instant espresso in with my shots of espresso, so it just adds a nice deep flavor. Ugh. And I don't think this tastes any different. It's very good, very rich, very thick, and it's got butter and heavy cream in it. Oh my goodness. Holly Springer is in the house. Good morning, Holly. And Carl's here. I knew Carl was here. Come on over, Dustin. Well, if it wasn't a 2-hour plus drive on Sunday and I have to be back here by 8 o'clock and I've got to go to the store today and buy stuff for family dinner tonight that I'm probably going to miss most of because of Keto Crusade. Yeah, it's just my time is kind of a finite commodity like all of ours, but trust me, I wish I could have come over. But I also wanted to play cards with my friends last night, but that didn't quite work out. So hopefully sometime in March we'll get together to play some cards. I love playing cards. I love playing poker, Texas Hold'em, maybe a little bit of Omaha High-Low, you know how it goes. I love those games. Aaron says instant coffee has a weird taste. It can depending on the brand and all that stuff. Now, this instant espresso, it's like a Nescafe. I got to look and see. I always have to look this up because I can never remember what it is. Bear with me and I'll pull this up. And there's two flavors, okay? So there's a blonde and a bold. This looks like you should be able to see it. So let me go ahead and share this screen. All right, so this is what I like to use. This Nescafe. This is the bold, and there is all. Or this is the blonde, which is pretty good. I know this. I don't know if you can see that on your side of the things, but it doesn't look like it's coming through on my side here on my screen down here. I can see it perfectly up there. But there is also a bold, and I'm not sure if it's going to show me. Like also, you can buy the intense. I'm sorry, it's called intense. So here's the intense. So it's $6.49, and you get 50 cups out of it for $6.49. So I'll probably pick up some of that today because we've only got like one more jar left, and if we're not going to be you buying a new machine soon, then we'll be doing that. So people are saying good morning to each other. We listen to you, Pool. Not Pool. I hear you. Sorry. I'm on my phone. I can't type either. It's just the way it works. Like I'm trying to type out these nice messages to, like when I'm on in other people's streams, and it just never quite comes out the way that I want to. Shanda's doing well. I mean, she said that there's something that she hasn't had, and I'm guessing it's probably diet soda. I still haven't watched Nick Norwich's video on diet soda, on aspartame, and how it can impact cardiovascular health and such. So I'm looking forward to watching that. I just have to actually take the time and sit down and watch that. If anybody is familiar with Nick Norwich, he does deep dives, and he's got the the schooling to back it up. He is, I believe, he is Oxford graduate and currently Harvard student. So the dude's pretty smart. At least, if you're going based on understanding what Oxford is. I have a friend who's actually a professor over at Oxford currently. I don't know. It was like going to be a 2-year stint over at Oxford. Yeah, so that's pretty awesome to know that somebody that I went to high school with is smart enough to be a professor over at Oxford. Oh my goodness. Evelyn says, this is a first. The three of us on our phones, all watching you from the same room. Oh my goodness, that's amazing. I love it. Let's see. Bride's Biscuit says, Amalu has some ultra clean chicken sausage, just antibiotic chicken, spices, vinegar. Yeah, anti-antibiotic or something like that. Yeah. Yeah, I like that stuff. I get that sometimes when it's on sale at Costco. We buy the big bags of their chicken and their pork sausage. They have the big bags in the freezer section. They're relatively clean too. I think the chicken 0 carbs for 3 sausages, and I think the pork sausage is 1 carb for 3 sausages. So I'm guessing they're probably relatively close to each other. Our little girl our granddaughter loves the pork sausage. So I have some of those every once in a while. I know being completely 100% strict on triple B and E is really, really very difficult just because you're just having beef, butter, bacon, and eggs. And I understand that's the whole point. And we've been doing very well, but I think being sick kind of threw that wrench in there. So I will probably maintain that through the March 8th meetup in Columbus. We'll see how that goes. I'm super excited to hang out and see everybody. Very, very excited because hugs are very necessary to my life's existence. How bad is the echo? I think everybody probably has their volumes turned down. Aaron says, I'm originally from Dayton, Ohio. My father-in-law is from Cleveland area, Ohio. Evelyn says, well, we turned our phones on silent and we just put them up on the TV. You know what? You guys are amazing. The birthplace of funk. Yes. Even Susan is up. She's doing dishes so we can cook up a storm this morning. Hi, Susan. I love you too. You know, I'm just yelling into the thing and it probably doesn't translate on the TV. It's probably like... Adrian is here. Good morning, Adrian, dear. How are you? Adrian is amazing. I love Adrian. She's so sweet. If you don't know who Adrian is, check her out. She's got our YouTube channel as well. She's a sweetheart, and she's always digging into the minutia of making herself better. So always go check her out. She's super fun. You won't go wrong watching her content. And she's one of the lionesses. Try to share their stuff out whenever I see it, because that's what we do here. We share and we care, because caring is sharing and sharing is caring. Jeffrey says, got an extra older Great Dane, super chill, super goofy, lovely personality plus. Yeah, I know. Like, so Chandra had an older Roddy for a while, you know, until it passed away before we met. And I think she would probably be more likely to want a Roddy, but I think the Cane Corsos are another breed that she would really like. She just loved how it was like, you know, they had a great personality. You know, they would sit and they would work together. You know, the dog would sit at her lap while she did eBay, and they would go down and have lunch together. And, you know, they were just like best friends. And the way she talks about that dog, and I figure eventually we'll have a dog, but we're trying to be empty nesters that have a little bit of a freedom aspect to what we do, being able to go places and do this and do that. And, you know, it's just, but then if you add something like a dog into the mix, then it makes it difficult to go on vacation for any length of time and not take the dog with you. And then taking the dog with you is like taking a toddler with you, you know. Adrian says 12 likes with 32 people. Hit that like button. Well, thank you. Yes, please do. The more likes, the more you guys chat, the more YouTube thinks, hey, people will like this, and they'll put it in front of more eyeballs. Not extra older, not just a puppy Dane, complete spaces. Oh, yeah. Spazzes, yeah. There's a house there's a house in our neighborhood that has 2 Great Danes in it. And it's a 2-story house, but like, I don't think that, like, that just seems like they don't get to move enough. And their backyard is not that big, and it's fenced in. And it looks like if they really wanted to, they could just sneeze and be over the fence. You know, it just seems like I wish they had more room. And that would be the thing, is like having a big dog like a Great Dane who needs to run, or dogs that need to run, need room to run. And living in like a kind of a captured little smaller neighborhood like we've got, yeah, on our back of our neighborhood, we've got a big, huge, like, common area. It's like 2 or 3 football fields, and there's plenty of room to run out there if you want to. And the dogs can run, but I mean, you know, then you got to have a well-trained dog to run off the leash and all that stuff. Sean said, I had my cardiologist document my medical records stating that I'm allergic to statins. They cause muscle and joint pain. I'm not willing to take a pill that will cause pain and help nothing. Right. And they said that, like, you know, out of the average people who take statins their entire lives, it only adds about 2 to 5 days. So I don't really think that all that money spent on statin is worth a couple of days. I mean, that's just my opinion. Amy says, my husband is a great poker player. I would rather play a good player, a great player, than play somebody who doesn't know what they're doing. Because, you know, we'd always be playing, and like, and I'm not saying anything about against women, but our friends with their girlfriends would want to play, but they had never played before. So we're playing with like really brand new newbies, because we would play every weekend. We play every weekend for like 3 or 4 years. And it was every Saturday night we played and we played. We played till like 6 a.m. But sometimes the girlfriends would want to play, and it wasn't that they're a girl. It was like that they just didn't know what they were doing. And we would like teach them how to play, give them a little thing that was like, you know, what beats what. But then they would just be like, I don't know if I win. I have a pair and trips. Like, you know, it was just like, I want to play with people who really enjoy the game and want to play. Like playing with brand new, like playing with newbies is cool in Vegas and all, but playing at a home game, I'd rather play with people who know what they're doing. It just like makes things go faster. Um, excuses, excuses. Good Wi-Fi here. You can Keto Crusade from here. I hear you. I hear you. But then I'd get unalived by the wife. You know how it goes. Amy said, on our first date, I watched him take all his friends' money. I felt bad, so he gave it back when we left and went to dinner. I've done that. Like I've like oh like we so I used to drink when we played, and there were nights that I would just be playing cards, and then I'd wake up on the couch. No, nothing in between. Just, huh? Wasn't I playing cards? And I had like a pocket full of money. Like what happened? Which is better than having a pocket full of no money. But then I'd have a friend who would get blackout, and he would want to play, but he couldn't play very well that way. But he was very like insistent. So what we would do is we'd play him, but then when he got to that same state, he had a pool table in his house, but he couldn't lose if he was barely able to stand for some weird reason. So he could play pool in that state and not miss. But poker, awful. So what we would do is we would take his money in poker and then give it back to him on the pool table, because if you tried to give it back to him, he'd be mad. But then also, if he sobered up and realized you took all his money, he'd be mad too. Like, where'd my money go? You lost it to us. What do you mean? We tried to lose it back to you at the pool table, but you kept coming right back to the card table and losing it right back to us. Like, come on, you know? Stacy says, I drink coffee flavored water, use 1 K cup pod for 30 ounces. My problem is what I add. I see. Holly says, I think Dr. Westman makes a good point about labs. All the norms are based on averaging labs from people on a standard American diet. It's like comparing apples to oranges. I agree. Dr. Westman's a funny guy. I got a chance to meet him a couple years ago. Funny guy. Got a chance to talk to him a couple times that day and got a photo with him and stuff, pretty sure you can find that on my Instagram. Just scroll back to like 2023. Amy says, I drink a ton of black coffee, but 2KK says the carbs, even in black coffee, add up. The carbs in everything add up. There's carbs in butter. There's carbs in bacon. There's carbs in eggs. There's carbs in red meat. Is it a lot? No, but there's carbs in every single thing we eat. And the thing about it is we just have to make choices. If we know that there's carbs in our coffee and we know there's carbs in our cream, then we have to make the sacrifice elsewhere, right? So if I know that there's, X number of carbs in this, because one, it's espresso, so there's going to be more carbs. And then you have got butter, and then you've got the heavy cream. I later won't have something else that, you know what I mean? I'm less likely to go over on my carbs later on in the day because I already know I've had this. And my goal is to keep carbs as low as possible. So I'm probably just going to have eggs and meat, And there are days where my carbs are much higher, and there's days my carbs are as close to zero as humanly possible while still having coffee and the normal food. So you have to kind of balance that out. And you kind of have to take mental note. But understanding that there are carbs in the things that we do kind of helps you keep that mental note. Stacy says, I will use instant coffee and the creamy to make coffee chow keto ice cream with lots of butter. Ken's spoiled. That man is beyond spoiled. He's lucky to have you, Stacy. And I think we'd all agree. Adrian says that I'm amazing. Oh, stop it. Evelyn says Susan is waving at you from the kitchen. I can't wait to see you guys soon. And Andy says, Sean, I put it on the TV so we can listen from the TV and watch in the chat and have the conversation. Oh, they're talking about me. Karen is here. Good morning, Karen. I am so glad you are here. Let's see. Danes don't like to run that much. They are chill. That's good. Everybody saying hello. Yeah, that's the reason why I don't travel as much as I would like to. Heath is in the house. Good morning, Mr. Heath. Hey, yo, been listening since the beginning while doing chores. Oh, my goodness. Thank you so much for being here. Also, I used to be a pro poker player until Uncle Sam decided to cancel online poker. I never liked online poker. I mean, I tried playing it when we were allowed to when we could play on like Poker Stars. But I'd only put in like 50 cent, like $50. Then I'd play the penny games, and nobody really paid attention. Like people were not as tight as they probably normally would be. I like going to a real casino, and I haven't done that in years. I know we have a casino just about about a half hour, 45 minutes from here. I mean, it's not that far, but it's like all the way across town and then like 20 minutes down the highway. But all like so it's about 45 minutes from here, getting across town, then going out on the highway. Um, but it used to be all electronic. They'd have like those big tables that were all electronic. And now they've got live dealers, and I haven't been since they've redone their poker room and have live dealers. I get text messages and stuff from them about all the stuff they've got going on. They have the tournaments with like the bounties and all that stuff, like $25 bounties, $100 bounties. If you take somebody out of the tournament, you get $100 or $25 or whatever the bounty is. But yeah, I just haven't had the money as of late to go and be able to play cards. I wish. People saying hello to Heath. And he says they used to play 9 tables at once. And that's just not fun. I like playing. So for me, poker is all also, it's about the game, but it's also about who you meet sitting at the tables. Like so I've played in Vegas. I've played in multiple different casinos across Vegas and here in town. And even when it was just electronic, you would sit there with like old veteran guys and stuff, and they would talk about what it was like being in Vietnam and all these things, and just kind of getting to know people and hear their stories. That's one of the things that I love the most. In Vegas, you never know where in the world someone's going to sit down from. So, you're like sitting there and somebody from Ireland would sit down, or like I remember I was playing and there was a whole bunch of people from a little people basketball team. And I don't know if that's the proper term now, but this was like back in 2009 or something like that. And maybe, yeah, it was 2009, I think. And that's what they called themselves. So they were like, yeah, we're the little people basketball team. There was like women and guys and like different people were playing at the tables with us. And so it was really interesting. You just like get to see see people you wouldn't normally see in regular everyday life. So I mean, you just people from all over the world. And it's amazing. That's what I love about Vegas and playing cards, and why I can sit down and play for 12 hours, because you never know who's going to sit down with you. I've had a friend, he was playing at O'Shea's one night, and Jonah Hill sat down and played for a while. It was like a low limit game, it was like 1-2 or 1-1 or whatever. And it was like, because O'Shea's is not a very big gambling place, and they've redone O'Shea's and they've moved it. It used to be like right on the strip. Now it's back a little bit on the promenade over there at the link. But yeah, Sean says, we never really played online for real money. I used to hate it because we would have people go all in with crap hands and would never took it seriously. That's my thing. That's where like the real money kind of keeps people in line a little bit to a degree. And Kitchen Witch is here. When I was young, I played for quarters, laundry money. Oh, yeah, I remember playing for pennies and stuff like that. But he says, I quit my job and I was making more money off playing in a home game once a week. Yeah, that's amazing. Let's see. We still haven't gone to the new casino that is a little over an hour away from us. My buddies that live by that way say it's really nice and to check it out soon. It's just there's also a difference between casinos in like Vegas versus casinos outside of Vegas. They're just a completely different kind of feel. Like Vegas casinos, you're sitting down, you get free drinks, and like there's waitresses who bring stuff to you, but at the casinos at like where we live, like there's a soda. You can go drink all you want soda, but like you got to go get it. And there's nobody really comes around unless you're ordering actual drinks, and they're charging you for every drink. And like it's just not the same. It's a different vibe. Karen says O'Shea is gone. I didn't know. I didn't know it was gone. I knew they had moved it back, but I didn't know it was gone. Good to know. Amy says I've been in O'Shea's. It's over by my favorite barbecue place in Vegas, Virgil's. People saying hello. Meeting Wellness is here. Christy, good morning. I haven't seen you in a long time. How are you doing? He says, roommate and I went to the casino that first weekend and I had enough to pay all my bills for 3 months. So I made the draw. I made it. That's amazing. I have to go to Virgil's every time I'm in Vegas or NYC. I guess so. Oh, let's see. He says, it also helped when I was playing online. I had backers usually up to a 60-40 split. Well, that's cool. Like, I know, like, so I know that, like, this year, like, the big hubbub in the poker world is the poker brat isn't going to be playing the main event at the World Series because he feels like he's 60 and the 12 hours a day for 7 days straight's too much. So we'll see. Let's see. Chris says, I'm doing great. Just coming off a week off from work. Didn't go to Vegas, though. I wish. Oh, yeah. Don't we all wish? John Gugahan says, heading to church now. Have a great day. Well, thank you for being here. Thank you for joining us, my friend. Hope you have a safe, wonderful rest of your day. Truly appreciate you very, very much. He says, win a big tournament, and the very next day, Uncle Sam shuts it down. Oh, my goodness. I've won free tournaments and stuff online, and I've come in like fourth place in Vegas tournaments and stuff. We played a tournament at the Golden Nugget. I just like playing cards. I don't always have a very high success rate coming out of the casinos. I usually play longer than I should. That's a problem because I like to play so much. That's a problem. Outer casinos in Vegas have different vibe. Yeah, yeah. I mean, like I've never been in some of those outer casinos. I mean, obviously I've been to Ellis Island and stuff like that. You go there to have that steak dinner and all that stuff, but I've never been like to the Orleans or any of that stuff. Those kind of seem like they'd have a very much different vibe. I mean, even now, like even the difference between like 2006 and the last time I was there was 2015. The whole vibe of Vegas has changed. Everything's really changed. Like it just seems more locked down. They're charging more. They're trying to squeeze you for every dime they can. And I know they used to do that too, but more with the gambling. And they would get you in with the cheap food, and then like get you to gamble. But like now it's like they're charging you to gamble. They're charging you to park. They're charging you to eat. They're charging you a premium for everything you do. And I mean, maybe it'll backfire, maybe it won't. So I guess we'll have to see. Sean said, when we visit Shell's parents in Vegas, we always go to Sunset Station. They like the local casinos because odds of winning the slots are better. Yeah. I'm just not a big slot person. I like slots sometimes. Rick is in the house. Good morning, Rick. He says, man, I slept late today. I guess so. Lacey is here. Good morning, Lacey. Good morning. Church in a little bit. No coffee, though. Can't have it before church. Makes my social anxiety worse. Oh. I don't know. I've never paid attention to that kind of stuff for me. I'm not sure how I feel. Everything I liked about Las Vegas is gone. Would never go there again. I would love to go back to Vegas. They still got poker rooms, and I love playing poker. So the idea that there's always some kind of game going on would be amazing. Because I don't think even my local casino, I don't think it's always playing. I don't think there's always cards going on. So I think it shuts down at a certain time. So yeah. Lacey's in her day 5 of Carnivore Week. That's awesome. Congratulations. People saying good morning. The only thing I want to see is the Heart Attack Grill. I've never been there. And I kind of wish I would have went when I was old, when I was big enough to eat for free. Because I think that's like, if I'm going to be fat, at least I might as well get something out of it. You know what I mean? Like, because I would love to get there. If I ever do go, if I ever get a chance to go to the Heart Attack Grill, if it's still open when I get to Vegas next time, I will probably have to get some of the fries because they cook them in the beef tallow and they're those thick, at least from what I remember seeing on TV, they're the big, thick steak fries. Kind of like how Red Robin fries are or used to be. I don't know. I haven't been to Red Robin in a very, very, very long time, so I don't know, to be honest with you. But that's what I would like. I'd love those big, thick, beefy, like steak fries that are cooked in tallow, that are probably nice and crispy on the edges. That's if I'm gonna do something, I'm gonna do it right. So, like, if I'm gonna have a cheat meal, I'm gonna do it right. I'm gonna try to make sure I get the best of whatever I can get that's delicious. You know, quadruple bypass burger. Is that like a pound of meat then? Because I mean, I eat that every day. I don't always put cheese on it or onions or anything like that. Would be good, like cheese, onions, pickle, some mustard. Oh yeah, that's the way I like a burger. Nice juicy burger with with lettuce or with pickle, mustard, and onions. Let's see. The only thing I remember in Vegas was Excalibur jousting and eating Cornish hens with your hands. Yeah, we did that, and so I stayed at Excalibur. I've stayed at the MGM. I've stayed at the Stratosphere. I've stayed at Sahara, and I've stayed at the Plaza downtown. The reason we stayed at the Plaza downtown is we were in town in 2006 for my birthday, and my friends and I went to go on vacation. We decided to go to Vegas, and then we drove to LA. But we were in Vegas for my birthday, and when we were spending the time in Vegas, and we decided to stay an extra night. And the strip was basically all booked up because it was World Series or whatever. So we called downtown, we called the Plaza, and they were like, "Oh yeah, $30, come on down." Three kids that three young teen. I was 27, but still, that's 20 years ago, probably basically. You know what I mean? Yeah. 2 pounds of beef. That sounds amazing. Beef and have the cheese, the melty cheese, the onions. Oh, it was so good. The warden and I were married in Vegas. Well, that's amazing. Chandra hates Vegas, so I don't think she and I will go back. I would have to go back with like some friends or something, or like a guy's trip or something like that. That'd be the only way I probably get to go back, or if I go by myself. I stayed with my aunt. I was a kid. Let's see. I remember the dunes, sands, stardust. Yeah, I remember well, the sands and the dunes were gone when I was there, but the stardust was still there, as far as yeah, the stardust was there because we went in and got a chip from there. We were collecting dollar chips from all the casinos we went into. So yeah. We used to love Hash House a Go Go. It was known for giving you super large portions. Yeah, I think there's a place I think that's a place, and my buddy likes a place out there too because he'll fly into Vegas and then go up to Utah to go hiking and stuff. Rick said last time I went to Vegas was 2005. Once I get my engine in my truck, I'll be making a road trip to visit friends. Oh, awesome. That's going to be fun, fun, fun. Let's see. There was a huge indoor zoo, but I don't remember what building was in. There's all kinds of that stuff. Like there's a big predator tank, like it's a bunch of sharks and like piranhas and stuff in Mandalay Bay. There's always some cool stuff going on there. A buddy of mine won a seat in the World Series of Poker main event. Then shortly after he went pro, he is a divorced security guard. Oh my goodness. The boardwalk. I don't remember the boardwalk. I do love the boardwalk in Disney. The boardwalk is right over by like at International Gateway, Epcot. I love the boardwalk. That's beautiful over there. There was some steakhouse in Las Vegas where they served Barbary duck. Oh my goodness! If they would have had iguana, you'd have been living your best life, Rick. Lacey says this was over 20 years ago, so I might not even be there. It probably isn't. Things change so much there. Like, and one thing that I kind of want to talk about because we're all caught up with comments, I kind of want to see how you guys feel about this, and I haven't quite fleshed out my ideas. So, um, well, before I get to that, Barbara Castro is here. Good morning. Can't stay long. We'll watch the replay this afternoon. Well, fantastic. Well, thank you so much, Barbara. I truly appreciate you coming in and spending any of your time with us. I truly appreciate that very, very much. Sean said, stayed at Mandalay Bay last year. We went there for a conference. Yeah, that's a big conference place. And like, you feel like you walk a mile through, like, those casinos are so massive. You don't even realize how big they are until you're trying to walk through them. But so one thing that I've been wanting to talk about, and one thing that I posted a couple of weeks or about a week ago, heavy cream. So I currently purchase the Great Value 64-ounce containers of heavy cream, and it has carrageenan in it. Now, it is $10 for 64 ounces. So $10, 64 ounces. And the brand that they have at Walmart that does not have carrageenan in it, it has Gelen Gum, is $5.60 or $5.80 something for 16 ounces. So 20 some dollars, $23 for 64 ounces versus like $9.50 for 64 ounces of the Great Value. And one of the questions that I posed with this was, do you think that the price difference is worth the difference in ingredient? Is the ingredient difference worth the price? Is the amount of carrageenan that they're using that much cheaper than the Gelen Gum? Is Gelen Gum that much more expensive? Are we paying for the packaging? Are we paying for the name? What are we paying for? Why are we paying so much for one ingredient difference? Now, I understand that some of you may be extremely sensitive to carrageenan and you will purchase whatever you can that doesn't contain it, but it doesn't seem to impact me. And I had made this post and I had various people to give me different comments. And some of the comments were, things like, well, if you just purchase the more expensive, then you're less likely to use as much. So you might be saving money in the long run. And I kind of wonder, and I kind of question that, because why are we so willing, or why do we have the mindset that we have to spend more money to be healthy? Because the healthier we want to eat, typically the more money we are spending. Now, my question is, are we shooting ourselves in the foot by having this mentality? Like, I understand that like the basic ground beef at the grocery store is $3 a pound, or you can buy grass-fed, grass-finished that's like super fancy for $8 a pound. Now, is there a $5 a pound difference worth of it from these products? Are you getting $5 worth of health benefits when you buy that extra better beef? Or, when we go, and if you are a person who shops at Whole Foods, are you getting the benefit of the extra money you are spending because it's Whole Foods? Are you getting that back in your health? And these are questions I think we have to ask, because as things move forward, as we see, we have someone like RFK Jr. in office right now doing whatever he's doing. I'm not sure I still trust him fully. I don't necessarily. He may say things that our community currently is excited about, but that doesn't mean he's going to be doing anything and everything we're excited about. And I think he may be doing things behind the scenes we may not like. And that's, and this is not a political thing. This is just, I have concerns of anybody who comes in and it seems to be too good to be true, because it often is. But I ask this because if we are in a situation currently where we are looking at things like Steak and Shake is throwing out beef tallow, or they're throwing out their seed oils, they're going to be cooking in beef tallow, but they're still cooking French fries in beef tallow. How does that benefit us? Or with BW3s, they're cooking their wings in beef tallow, but it's deodorized with BHTs and this, that, and the other. And we're told, well, avoid that. But is that any worse, or how much worse is that than seed oils? Are we willing to just fork over money for insignificant gains in health? How do we make a stand? How do we tell food companies we want better quality, but we don't think we should have to pay out the nose for better stuff? Find a way to get it to us at a price we want. How do we do that? How can we choose with our wallets? Because I think we're doing that, and we got people who are willing to spend 2 and 3x the cost of normal products to get what is considered better, but I don't think they're getting 2 and 3x the value or health benefit from it. I mean, even Dr. Barry says you can go carnivore and you can be successful eating bologna and hot dogs. But is that bologna and hot dogs? Is that Oscar Mayer and Eckridge and that kind of stuff? Or are you going to be spending, $10 a pound on hot dogs? Spending more on hot dogs than you are on hamburger? Where's the line? How do we know we're getting the value that we're putting all this money into? How do we know? And are we making it more difficult on ourselves by being blindly led into a direction to spend more money because influencers tell us to? Let's go and let's take a look at your comments and see what you guys have to say about this, because this has been something that's been on my mind for a long time. And, it's like I can pay $4 a pound, or I can pay $3 something a pound for frozen hamburger patties from Walmart. So I can get 3 pounds for $11. Or I can buy 1 pound of their bison burger for $10. Am I getting that? Am I getting 3 pounds of value out of that 1 pound of bison? I wouldn't think so, because I can eat more. I can have more sustainability with the burger because I can afford more of that burger. What should be the limit? Where are we going wrong? Are we going wrong? These are questions that I have, Let's see. All right, Amy's got to run. About the Monte Carlo was built on the boardwalk. Now that's like Park MGM. But let's kind of see what we got going on. People saying hello. Barbara says, I'm glad you're talking about this. I think it's very important, because I think we have people that come on and they make videos on, if you go to Costco and you buy their rotisserie chicken, that's the worst thing you could ever put in your body. You should buy their organic 2 chickens for $20. That you have to cook yourself. Is that better? I'm sure it's better. But is it that much better? Is it worth the work? Is it worth the energy you're paying to cook the food, the time it takes to cook the food? And then, then are you going to put seasonings on it then that maybe put it right back up with the rotisserie chicken? These are just questions that I have, and people get very angry at these questions. How dare you not want to just blindly throw your money into organic and grass-fed, grass-finished? How dare you not want to just go to a butcher and buy, 2 freezers worth of meat every year? Because I can't afford to. I'm sure I could if I did it right and saved just right. But that's difficult. And it's not always easy. Like right now, the problem we're having with eggs. Like right now, it's $30 at Walmart for 5 dozen eggs. Last time I went to the store has been about a week, so I don't really know. I know I paid like 4 something a dozen at Costco, and we got 6 dozen. So like a two dozen carton was 8 something. And so that meant, we got 4 dozen for 16, 6 dozen for 32. So I still feel like I came out ahead. But you'd understand what I'm saying. Like, Chrissy says, I purchased a brand of heavy cream with nothing but cream, and it's the most expensive. It's about $5 a pint. So $5 for 16 ounces. Now, if you like, and I was looking at Costco the last time I was there. I didn't buy any, but they have for $14.50, they have a 64-ounce Horizon Organic, and it has gum instead of carrageenan. Now, once we get a little bit lower in our supply of heavy cream, the Walmart brand, I would consider purchasing at that price, because I don't feel comfortable paying almost $25 for 32 ounces, but $14.50 is like still $5 more. So I'm still paying 50% more for it, but it's still kind of a happy medium. Now, is gum going to be something in 2 weeks that they tell us that we got to avoid? I don't know. That's another problem. We're always told that this and this and this and this is bad for us. We can never really truly get ahead. I always kind of feel like the goalpost is always moving, because I cut out carbs, I cut out seed oil, I cut out sugars, and now I'm looking at aspartame, and I'm looking at this, and I'm looking at all these things in carrageenan, and I'm looking at, all these little things that they're starting to pop up. And if you have these polyphenols, or now we're looking at like this, that, and the other, and like, you got to be careful now that your bacon may not be as good for you as you thought, because it's got this, that, or the other in it. And I watch these people, and I watch their shorts, and I kind of just shake my head a little bit. I'm like, at what point is it just crazy? Aaron says, I can't find and clean heavy cream around me. And it's difficult. As my question is spending $25 for 64 ounces truly in my best interest? And people were saying, well, maybe you've made up your mind, and I'm cheap. That goes farther to me, especially if I don't notice a difference. If I don't notice there's an issue, I don't know what to say. And maybe if I spent some time away from carrageenan, I'd probably notice a difference. I try to avoid it, but it's in everything, I think. It's like the new seed oil to me. It's almost in everything. Lacey says, I don't think anything should be in heavy cream other than cream. I get the Aldi brand, which has something in it, but it does not bother me. I think it might be carrageenan. I'd have to look and see if I can look up at Aldi and see what they've got here. Let's see if it'll show me what their heavy cream is. You could shop online. So let me see if I can find heavy cream here. Heavy cream for 32 ounces at Aldi is more expensive, I think, than it is at Walmart. So it currently is, let me see if I can bring this up here so you guys can see it as well. So the heavy cream here is $5.89. Says 0 carbs, so there you go. No, we know it's not really 0 carb for 1 tablespoon. And we look here. So the ingredients are heavy cream contains less than 1% of each of the following: sodium phosphate, sodium citrate. Sodium citrate's an emulsifier. I use that when I make cheese sauces. Carrageenan is also an emulsifier, and mono and disaccharides. I don't know how to pronounce that. I'm sorry. But yeah, so if you take a look at that, it's got that, and it's not cheaper than what I'm spending at Walmart. And this is my local one here. So if I wanted to buy this, I could add to the cart and go and pick it up. So they have everything that it was allegedly what I would have access to as if I went to the store. But I see, I just think, I think about that kind of stuff. It would be better if heavy cream was just heavy cream, but they don't sell it that way. Unless you're going to somebody, and I think somebody said the other day they were going and picking it up from like a local farm. It's just cream, but they're paying like an obscene amount of money for it because they know they can do it. And Evelyn says, they don't sell a clean heavy cream at Aldi. That's where I do all my shopping. It is what it is. And Rick says, yeah, I mean, if you can catch it and eat it and cook it, yeah, I get that. But not everybody lives, in the same situation that you do, Rick, or even willing to live like you do. And Christian says, I think it's crazy that there are fewer ingredients but cost so much more. 100%. See, Sean says, Evelyn used to love Ren and Stimpy, would always wear my Oh Joy Ren and Stimpy shirt to our PT test in Navy to show how excited I was for exercise. And Christian says they love this topic. I love this topic too, because I think it's one that kind of goes under the radar. I think we all have these frustrations, but we're kind of afraid to voice them. Or, I mean, we have our deep-rooted opinions. If it costs more, it's got to be better for us. I think that's the kind of mindset we've been in for so long, that if it's not expensive, it's bad for us. Like $2 hamburger at Walmart has got to be way worse for us than, $8 a pound hamburger at Walmart. But they're all coming from Walmart. That's just the question that I have. What tastes best? What's going to get you closer to your goals? And what can you afford? But even still, what can you afford is still kind of a shitty way to look at it, because then you still have the same mindset, is the more I spend, the better off I am. And I still don't think that's true. I mean, it might be, but such a marginal difference, I don't think it's worth the money. Donna says, your groceries have to be sustainable. If you eat great value 73 beef instead of grass-fed organics, so be it. Even Dr. Barry says, buy what you can afford. Yeah, but I still think the buy what you can afford is still not touching the subject. It's still not helping us get to the root of the problem. Why is it that we have to put so much money into the food we eat to find it healthy? And or even having to have the conversation of eat what you can afford. Why shouldn't it be any money we spend on our food should be the best food we have, and not how much money can I afford to spend this week? How much money can I afford to put back for beef this week, because I got to buy the best beef I can afford? I got to go to Kmart and put my beef on layaway. That's ridiculous. And I think we have to start working through that. The whole unpack all the trauma of all the things that we've been dealing with our entire lives of, well, if we don't spend enough money, it's not good enough. If the medicine doesn't taste bad, it's not working. If the spray on antiseptic isn't burning, it's not working. These things aren't inherently true. Medicine that tastes bad doesn't mean it's working better. Food that's more expensive doesn't mean it's healthier for you. And just because it doesn't sting doesn't mean it's not cleaning out your wound or whatever. We have to kind of start looking deeper into this, because if we're not going to do it, the grocery store and the people, the food manufacturers and the meat packers, they're not going to do it for us either. So we have to take this into our hands and start deciding, what do we want? We want the best food for the best prices. And we should demand they sell it to us, because we are the consumer and we vote with our wallet. Now, it's a precarious situation if you're wanting to get, grass-fed, grass-finished burgers for the same price as the big factory farm burgers. But I don't see a reason why we should have to even choose between the two of those things. Carl says, if you eat carrageenan for a long time, it will cause a demon. I can't remember. Yeah, that's how I feel, Is it yak shaving day? Chris says, when it comes to beef, I'm okay with it as long as there aren't additives, just beef. And you got to be careful, because even at Walmart and their packaged beef, like the tray, the styrofoam tray with the plastic wrap on top, has artificial, or what they say, with natural flavorings. Beef and natural flavorings. Why? Why? Now, again, like I've heard people say that could just be, beef broth. But why? What's wrong with just beef? Why not just plain beef? I can salt it later. If I want to, maybe put a little bit of garlic powder on it. I don't need you to make it flavorful. Just make it beef and make it clean and make it affordable. What's so hard about that? Barbara says carrageenan doesn't impact me. I know it's not good for you, kind of like seed oils. Not sure if it's as bad, but still. But is it the quantity? I mean, if it's less than 1%, are we getting enough for it to make a difference? Do we even know? Or are we just saying things and then going with it? Now, there was a Thomas DeLauer video that I saw some time ago, and I've gone to look for it and I can't find it. So, I mean, he puts out a lot of content, makes it a little harder. But I even searched carrageenan because he talked about the differences between the carrageenan that's in our food and the carrageenan that typically gets put into the tests that shows that carrageenan isn't great for us, and that's called degraded carrageenan. Now, I can't remember all the specifics, but he was like, the difference is very different. The carrageenan in our food is food grade carrageenan, and degraded carrageenan is not food safe. But they do all the tests with a degraded carrageenan. But then he also had something to say that, well, we still don't necessarily think that the food grade is necessarily all that safe either. But never get a clean, clear-cut answer. We just get it's probably not good, but they don't know. They can't really come out and say for true, if it's really that. We just don't know. Like aspartame, is it good? Is it bad? We've been doing this little hokey pokey dance. You got it. You got your eggs are good. You got your eggs are bad. You got your meat is good. You got your meat is bad. Turn yourself around and spend a lot of money. I mean, what is going on? How do we get through this and try to maintain some level of sanity and keep money in our pockets? Because we can't just automatically assume that spending more is healthier, because we know that just isn't true, at least on most levels. Let's see. Barbara says, I know Victor believes that it isn't that bad considering how little of it is in there. Yeah, you know what I mean? But I don't know for sure. I need a t-shirt with the horse on it saying, no, sir, I don't like it. I agree. I miss Ren and Stimpy. Yes. Karen says, I get organic heavy cream, no carrageenan. I know I spelled it wrong. That's fine. But I just want to know, but again, is the price you're spending for the difference worth it? Or are we just scaring ourselves into spending more money? Donna says, what about heavy metals and microplastics? I see people railing against Himalayan salt and various things, lead. In my opinion, at some point you have to say enough with the scaremongering is strong with some. That's the thing. I utilize just sea salt from Costco. Just the $3 thing of sea salt. I take Lugel's iodine every few days. I don't take it every day. I think, we're still getting iodine in other foods, maybe. You know what I mean? I try not to be so weird and scaremongery. I don't think there's much we can do about the microplastics. I think we've gotten ourselves with this plastic is everywhere. Everything's in plastic. So I don't think we're going to go back to things being in glass like in the 60s, 70s, and 80s. Remember when I was a kid, everything was in glass. I mean, you'd get a soda from the grocery store. You get a soda, a 16-ounce soda, and it was in glass. You get a Gatorade, it was in glass. Everything was in glass, and we were just fine. Now everything's in plastic. Now, it does make it a little easier if you drop it. It doesn't shatter on the floor and all that stuff. You're not getting glass in your foot, whatever. But I don't understand. I know they're finding they haven't been able to find anybody test people and not find microplastics in them. So I don't think there's anything we can do. I don't think there's anything we can do. I think it's probably worse if we worry about it, because you can worry yourself into an early grave. That was kind of how my mom was. My mom was a big time worrier. She worried about everything. And my grandfather passed away when I was 3 or 4 years old. And ever since then, my mom just worried and worried and worried she was going to have a heart attack. And she had strokes and a heart attack and all that stuff, as we were moving along in life. And she passed away. But I want to think that she just worried herself into being sick. That's if you live around negative people, your life is probably going to be negative. Now, I've been accused of toxic positivity, but I still think that I would rather have toxic positivity than be somebody who's negative about every single aspect of life every single day. The sky is falling, everything's bad, we're never going to survive this. Because even with issues with our current administration, we've been through other administrations, we've been through everything. As long as we stick together, we're probably going to be fine. Things may change for a little bit, we may not like it, but we fight, and then maybe we get it reversed later. But if we go and continue fighting and fighting and fighting against ourselves, we're never going to make changes. And again, I don't like to make things political, but I think it's the same thing with food, as politics, as just about anything. The movies they make. If you don't like the movies they make, then only pay to go see the movies you like. And then maybe they'll go, okay, well, that movie made us some money. Let's make more of that movie. And hopefully that works. Same thing with food. How do we get the prices to come down and have them sell us higher quality at less cost? I don't know. I'm not a smart enough person for that. But I know that blindly spending more money all the time on things that may not actually see a return in your money is something we definitely need to have conversations about. Definitely need to have people who are smarter than me on this topic, because we can dance around it, but I don't have any answers. Lacey says the only thing I pay more for is eggs. I think the pasture raised tastes better. Yeah, if you can find them, but typically if you can find them, they're usually not as more. Not if you can get them from a local farmer, they're usually not as expensive. I would love to have better eggs, but right now finding eggs in general is the task. You have to make it sustainable, but where do you draw the line? Exactly. And Barbara says, you're right, Donna. There are too many bad things out there for whatever reason. Carrageenan has just stuck with me. Yeah. And I don't know, like, is it just because we're in a community? We're a relatively tight knit community. So we see a lot of the same content, we see a lot of the same information, and we follow the same people a lot of the times. Now, there's difference, you know what I mean? There's a definite difference in who we all follow. I don't follow everybody you guys follow, and vice versa. But I'm always finding small channels, big channels I didn't know existed, you know? And I'm looking at their content, and then I still see the shorts, the stuff with, Paul Saladino and other people that are like, if you eat this, you got to spend 4 times your money or you're not going to be healthy. Stop. It's irritating. Barbara says, we don't drink a lot of heavy cream, so the cost of the cleaner brand is okay. And again, like, I get that, but it's still, at the end of the day, doesn't get us to the root cause of the problem. Where the root cause of the problem for me is carrageenan versus the use of the higher brand. Is there a value in that? Is there a legitimate value? Or is there a legitimate reason why you're paying that much more? Aaron says, I don't feel comfortable buying heavy cream with anything but cream. Can't find it though. Yeah, I mean, it's just, yeah. And it comes down to personal preference, but we still have to ask ourselves, why is that a personal preference for us? Is there validity in our personal preferences? Are we being kind of groomed, if you will, by social media, the bigger influencers, the ones who have more to say or more to gain? I don't necessarily have anything to gain necessarily from you spending more on heavy cream or whatever, but you're more likely to share that video, maybe. I don't know. These are just questions that I think we should be discussing. These are topics that are very important to our community. Holly says, I notice the fat I drain off the ground beef from the $5 roll at BJ's, I can still strain it till it's clear. Aldi ground beef, I cannot drain clear. I don't know. Does that make BJ's better? I don't know. I don't have a BJ's. I like cheap ground beef. I mean, that's how I've grown up. So I don't really know if there's a difference. Yeah, the only one I found is Horizon Organic. There's a different one I found. It's on my Instagram, and I think it's even in my community tab on over. It's called Posts now over on YouTube. You can take a look at that and see the one that Walmart carries here. But yeah, I just kind of like I said, it's just one of those things. Like, is avoiding carrageenan worth $5 a pint versus $10 for 64 ounces of the great value? Are we seeing a legitimate return of value for that for us? That's the question I have for the bulk of us. I know there's always going to be in our community, there's always going to be subcategories and niche down people who are here because things like carrageenan do impact them. And that's understandable. But at the same time, I don't necessarily think it impacts most of us. I don't know. And Carl says any changes in ingredients raises manufacturing costs, but does it raise it that much? Because manufacturing at a large scale is what keeps costs down. And are they just putting a perceived cost to us? Are they passing along just the manufacturing difference, or are they putting on what I would consider like a luxury tax? Because they know that people are often more times willing to pay a lot more money for something they perceive to be a lot more healthy. And is our perceptions wrong? These are questions. Aaron says, I'm cheap too. I'm penny pinching. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I try to spend the least amount of money as I can. Chris Cook in Nashville is here. Good morning, my friend. How are you doing, buddy? Becky is here. Good morning, y'all. Everybody's saying hello to people. Yes. Hello, Ash and Mel. I love those people. Those are some great ladies, Ash and Mel. Ashamel. Now they're one person. They're just Ashamel. It's like Gargamel, but different. I don't know what's wrong with me. I'm sorry. You can unsubscribe now. I understand. Anyway. Oh, let's see. Chris, Andy says the Hush Puppies were a hit in their house last night. Ooh, delicious. I love this. Rick says, Chris Cook in Nashville is here, the master of real food disguised as duck food. Oh, everybody's saying hello to Chris. Lacey's got to get ready for church. Have a blessed day, everyone. Well, thank you so much for being here. I truly appreciate you, Lacey. Evelyn says, ooh, Chris, Andy gave me a hush puppy and whey protein and butter powder. Now I can make them too. I'm so blessed to have enabling friends. Let's see. Holly says the government subsidizes the food that are used in processed food to keep processing food costs down. Costs will not change as long as that keeps going on. Well, that's my question. You know, how do we get that to change? Is that something that our new administration can look into? You know, I mean, is there even any hope for that? I don't know. Aaron says, I came up with an awesome waffle recipe. 1 bag pork rinds, 1 cold stick of butter, 10 eggs, mix in blender, boom. Best non-floppy carnivore waffles. That sounds delicious. You're so funny, Evelyn. Yeah. Chris says, being dogmatic with people about something like carrageenan when they're doing their best is to discount their personal circumstances and diminish their value to elevate your own. Yeah. And Chris has got to do our best. If we can cut it out, do it. If not, do the best you can. Yeah, it's like, I mean, but I'm just not going to. Yeah. It's like I get caught in a loop with this. It's like, why is it so expensive? Why should I be compelled to spend that much money on such a small ingredient? Is it that big of a deal? I get caught in this loop when my brain goes, I can't figure it out. I can't figure it out. I don't know. And I was like, my ears are going to start smoking, you know? Fantastic. Look at that. Andy's subscribed to Aaron. That's beautiful. Bride's biscuit. I think we should simply buy the cleanest Whole Foods we can afford the way you're addressing health and budget. Yeah. But even if we're spending the least of what we can afford, are we still overspending? I think it keeps going to my head. It's just like Mm. Let's see. Being cautious of diet and health is good. Being obsessed and fearful and eating is an eating disorder called orthorexia nervosa. Being judgmental and rude about how others do it wrong is being a douche. I agree. 100% I agree. Oh my goodness. Let's see. Good morning, Sonny. Thank you for being here. Sonny, look at you. Gifted one Keto Simple membership. Thank you so very much. And it looks like that went to Mighty Healthy Michelle. Mighty Healthy Michelle was gifted a membership today from the lovely Sonny. Thank you so much for being here. I like small channels. I like big channels. I like channels that give me value. And that's what I hope to do is provide value. I mean, if I'm providing value, then hopefully you subscribe and you look at what I have to offer as far as affiliate links or other ways to support the channel. These are things, that every channel we need to, make it sustainable so we can keep doing it. Because none of this is free and all that stuff. Again, transparency. I try to be as transparent with all of this as I can with food, with running a channel, all those things. It's also very important. Carl says the more pay more now to stay off meds and avoid paying more later. But are we though? I think again that's another trap that we set ourselves up for. Like, yeah, I mean, but like I know we're not eating Kraft mac and cheese and we're not eating that stuff, but we're eating just meat, eggs, cheese, vegetables, and such. So we're spending equivocally less until we start looking at, well, are we only buying, single sourced, organic, only raised by, monks in the mountains of whatever, cauliflower, you know what I mean? Like where does it end? Where does spending more lose its relevancy? Sonny says I used to buy from natural grocers. If it had a light blue lid, used to just be cream. Oh, it would be nice if I could just find just cream and it wasn't $1 million. Yeah, I stopped buying because it was getting to be too much money. Yeah, I mean, if you just can't afford it, you know what I mean? It's just, yeah. I think good, healthy food should be affordable and not just affordable to offset the cost of medications, not affordable just to offset, like the cheapest of the cheap. It's like, there's always been a difference between like, is buying the white box Kroger, just whatever it is, just a plain white box. Used to see just the plain white box, black lettering. It was cereal, cornflakes, whatever, right? Mac and cheese. It was the cheapest of the cheap versus the name brand. The name brand was the pinnacle. And now that's not even that now even that is like, okay, you can buy, the cheap from the Walmart, or you can buy the Horizon, or you can go and spend whatever, $100 a gallon for cream that's just cream. I don't know. Where's the end? Have a great one. Thank you, Aaron, for being here. Enjoy shopping. Be safe. Bye bye. And we got big pharma, big farm, big food own each other. They invest in its own medical industry. Documented. It's not a theory, but it is a conspiracy. Yeah. Sherry's in the house. Good morning. Have you already been on for over an hour? And I'm not going to try to get caught up. Just going to listen from here. Okay. I appreciate that. Ash Taylor's in the house. Good morning, my dear. Thank you for you and Chris for being such wonderful friends and being here. And that lovely puppy of yours. She's the best. Yes, thank you for posting the channels, Evelyn. You are the best. Asher Mel. Let's see. It is an assigned cost assigned by manufacturers, so they don't have to recalculate cost every time they quote. It's not an actual cost. They know the labor it takes to switch on and off clean machine. Yeah, but how much are they putting to us for profits? There's just so much to me that there's just not enough answers to all my questions. Yes, profit always comes before health. 1000%, Rick. Let's see. Rick says, hopefully people will drop in on Sunday morning live streams. Everybody, Rick goes live for like 10 hours on Saturdays. At least it was like what, 4 or 5 hours yesterday? At least 5 hours, maybe. I think I went off to do something and look back and you were still live. I was like, goodness gracious. Evelyn says, I understand she's not giving Dustin grief, but she's great grandbaby. But because she has a great grandbaby. Oh, yes. Cindy DeManch. We love her so very much. Follow Cindy. She's the bestest. Bride's Biscuit. I guess when the definitive studies come out that carrageenan causes metabolic dysfunction, cancer, then we'll know if we're overspending. Right now, I'm never buying clean cream. But I mean, even still, like even when those kinds of studies come out, like even with aspartame, like aspartame studies they've done in mice for a long time, like the cancer, like they were giving them the equivalent of us drinking like 4 or 5 cases a day. Like the amount of the amount of aspartame they were giving mice was far exceeds the amount that we would ever ingest in a daily amount. And I just kind of wonder, like the average person drinking 1 or 2 sodas a day, or like having a cup of, having some cream in their coffee, is that impactful enough to spend that much money? Carl. Paralysis of analysis. The more people get stuck in the loop, the more they make bad choices. Bad health choices make people sick. Yeah. Mighty Healthy Michelle. Good morning. Thank you, Sunny Chronicles. Yes, thank you for donating that membership. Now I get to update that once again and put your name up there. I love it. If you want to be in the credits of the ends of our lives, you can donate. You can donate memberships to get your name up there. You can become a member to get your name up there. If that's something that means something to you to have your name in the credits, then that's a little something that I can do for you for helping me. Let's see. Chris says, Dustin, I think you're fighting the idea of the law of diminishing returns. The 4x the price, giving me 4x the health benefits like carrageenan. I totally get you, and I agree it's a weird loop. Yeah, that's like, it's just I can't. Yeah, my brain just wants to explode. Yeah, it never ends. Money makes the world go round and round and round and round. Yes. And Evelyn is, did I miss anyone who would like me to share their channel? Please support our friends and their channels. So if you want your channel thrown up there, please let us know. Evelyn will put your link in the live here so people can click on it and follow you. Aspartame was based on 36 cans. True. That's a very old study, by the way. I think newer papers are trickling in with a mitigate this. Yeah, and I know there's something that I need to follow up with I talked about earlier in the stream with Nick Norwitz, and he's got some information, but I still need to go back and listen to it and see what that's going on and see what he has to say. He's a pretty smart feller. So, Rick, if you start your live stream earlier than mine, because I go live at 9 to 10 Saturday mornings. Andy, I do believe he goes live at 8 a.m. Eastern and goes till like, I don't know, a long time. He goes on an hour before you and he's going for a couple hours after you. Typically. But yeah, I don't, it's like I don't really mean to go on tangents and such like that, but I kind of think like sometimes these things get stuck in my head, and I kind of think we start trying to fight the losing battles. So yeah, that's just something that's been in my head and has been bothering me. So yeah, I appreciate you guys humoring me with some of these topics. And Chris says, I also see people getting hyper fixated on things like carrageenan or trace dairy or spices, and some autoimmune issues. I totally get it. Others panic for no reason and still don't see results. Yeah. Rick says, yeah, I only do one morning. So as long as I have comments, yeah. Let's see. Skipped the wrong one, but here, let's see. I think the panic and lack of patience fuels the hyperfixation on a minute traces. It clouds the issue for everyone. Yeah. Nick and others like Dr. Feldman are doing some great new studies that identify things like lean mass hyperresponders and have ridiculously high LDL, but every other metric proves they're healthy. Yeah, and I mean, even still, even Nick Norwich, I listened to a 5-hour podcast with him about this very thing, and he tiptoed and danced around the subject because he knows that anything he may say that kind of steps out of line will get used and remade, and they'll make shorts about it and all that stuff, or they'll, someone like, you know, um, Shalane Norton. But I kind of wonder, like, he's still not even necessarily convinced that lean mass hyper responders that are, he kind of looks at it as like he's got a clean 0 CAC score. So he's not as concerned as somebody who may not have a clean CAC score. So he's still optimistic, but still very cautious. So very cautiously optimistic. Let's see. Chris Cook in Nashville, what price do you and others place on individual health? It is never equal. It is much cheaper to pay more for good food than healthcare, but value is subjective, lawlessness. So I think for me, if we're looking at one simple ingredient, so the difference between having carrageenan and gellan gum in my creamer, I think the difference to me shouldn't be like 100% markup for one ingredient. And that drives me nuts. And I mean, I understand manufacturing costs and different processes and whatever, but it's not 100% difference. There's no way that it's 100% difference. Father Freshness is in the house. 43 days sober and 2 days smoke free. Sugar is next. I'm afraid of so much change. Love you, buddy. You guys are an inspiration. Well, thank you so much. Now, the thing is if you're 43 days sober, 2 days smoke free, I would say, just for caution's sake, just to not throw so much on your plate at once, I would wait on the sugar. I would maybe start cutting back. If you were somebody who was drinking 12 Mountain Dews a day or whatever you've got going on, cut that back to 8, 10. But don't try to bite off more than you can chew, because one of the worst things you can do is try being 43 days sober, 2 days smoke free, and then cut out all the other things that you have to lean on, other things that can maybe have made you successful thus far, and then everything going to shit. So I think you have to look at yourself as a person. Look at yourself truly and understand what makes you tick, and then say, okay, I'm 43 days sober. I'm 2 days smoke free. Should I just kind of roll with that for a while and let that kind of settle in and become a norm, and let that become a habit, and let that become something that I'm not struggling with before you start adding in other things? And that may not be a popular opinion, but it's mine. And I think you want to give yourself the most and best opportunities for success you can. So I think not setting yourself up for failure is huge. And I think if you start adding and stacking too much stuff, it's likely to tip over. So 43 days sober, phenomenal. I'm so proud of you. 2 days smoke free. It's so difficult to quit smoking. I quit smoking in 2010. It was hard. And I was also stupid and went to Wine Fest 2 days after quitting. And then there were people smoking, and I'm drinking wine, and I'm like, oh, I would do anything for a cigarette. Luckily, I didn't cave. But we talk about willpower, but how can we make our goals and set ourselves up to willpower isn't quite the necessity as it seems? So how do you make, how do you get yourself to 60 days sober and, and 20 some days and 20 days or whatever smoke free? I don't think by adding things on top of it right now is the answer. So, and I'm sure others will sound off on this. You know what I mean? And Chris says, Carl, there's no price on health. It's what a person cares about. But panicking, trying to force our body into do something isn't logical regardless. Our bodies don't work that way. And to say they do is ignorant of how they actually work. Let's see. Evelyn says, welcome, Father Freshness. You are among friends and others who have attacked these issues 1000%. And the heart attack diet is about being strong and having fun. Yes. And Chris says, for some people it works, for some people it doesn't. But to hyperfixate and panic and spread that panic does a disservice to the community 1000%. And Bride's Biscuit says, Norwitz always qualifies with more research is needed, but I like how his papers are open source. Yes. And can you really compare apples to apples when there are more than 75 varieties of apples? But I think the idea of an apple is an apple. All apples, even though there's different varieties, are all made up of the same stuff. They may have varying sugar contents, they may have varying fiber contents, but at the end of the day, they're all apples. Just like with humans. We're all humans, but we all have different genetic makeup. Things impact us differently. Our lived experiences are different. Our triggers are different. Our our environmental factors are different. People who grew up in like Newark, New Jersey versus Omaha, Nebraska, you're going to have different things because you were around different stuff. You lived in a major city with lots of smog and poor air quality versus living in the middle of Idaho with fresh green air, with fresh clean air. You're going to be a different person, but you're still a human. And I think we are all on a journey together. And I'm not telling anybody to not spend what they think they need to spend to be healthy. I'm just questioning the fact that we have for so long identified healthy with the amount of money we spend. And is that accurate? Is the law of diminishing returns a bigger factor than we realize? These are just questions that I want to put out there because I think in the grand scheme of things, we all want to be healthy. We all want to get a good value. We also want to make sure we're not spending money in areas that could go to other places in our lives. You know, is the price of Gelen gum and heavy cream versus carrageenan worth 100+% difference in cost? Is it? And again, as I said, if carrageenan impacts you, then it probably is for you. But it's even still, I don't necessarily think that even though you are required to spend that money, that it's necessarily money you should have to spend. Because yes, the cost of the Gelen gum may be more difficult to work with, more expensive to source, but I can almost guarantee you that it doesn't cost that much of a difference. And usually they're only putting that in with organic cream and whatever, and so that adds a price as well. So it's not only the Gelen gum being a factor. There's marketing, there's labeling, there's the brand association that it's going into. You automatically have an association with that brand of being more healthy, but that doesn't make it true. I mean, or does it? These are questions we have to answer. And we can't just say, well, if you spend more, you're going to be healthier. And spending more on your food now means you're getting less money in healthcare later, because that's not true either. Because you can do everything and plan as much as you want right now and still have to go through expensive surgeries or who knows what. You never know. You may need something later on that had nothing to do with what you ate. So I just I think the fact that we don't question these on a regular basis and we're just so willing to go ahead with the idea, well, we got to spend more to eat better. But do we? I don't think so. At least not the way that we're looking at it right now. Sean says, I feel like if there were there is a balance to everything. You're okay with whatever the outcome is of eating something, knowing that it will cause blank effect. But we don't know. We don't know what we don't know. We just need to know the truth and let us decide. Yeah, but we're never going to get the full truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, because you can't handle the truth. I don't know. Jeanette says, good on you, Father Freshness. And yes, 1000%. And agreed, Sean. And short of knowing from reputable sources, We all have an n equals 1, and others need to respect our findings and find their own result as well. Let's see. Simplify it for everyone. Eat good, not eat bad. Now you're keto, now you're healthy, done. In theory, Father Freshness, I sincerely appreciate the kind words and thank you all for your encouragement. One again, come here every week. I'm here almost every single week. I only miss if I'm on vacation, which is not very much. But we're here. We're here for you. And follow others in the community. Lean on them. Let them know your struggles. And we're here to help you as much as we can. Yeah. Father and Evelyn says to Father Freshness, moving forward, healthiness finds something you love, like steak or burger. Start enjoying them more often and move slowly into carb reduction. Eat more meat. Yeah. Slowly find the satiety signaling that you may have lost because you're going through a lot right now. Your body is in upheaval. I mean, the idea that people don't realize if you are somebody who needs to go and stop drinking, your body does not like not drinking. It'll get better, but it's one of those things that's going to be kind of a string that tugs at you forever. And that sounds awful. But I've known too many friends who have had that string and it tugs and tugs and tugs. So I would say you are on the right path. You are slowly moving towards a better you. You've stopped drinking, you've stopped smoking, but those two things in of themselves are going to throw your body into a tailspin. And even if even if you're slowly working back the carbs and sugar, that's a good place to start. But if you start struggling with the other two things, I would seriously I would not start smoking or drinking again. I would be like, you know what? This cheeseburger is going to have a bun on it. I would say slowly move forward. Gauge how you feel. Don't worry about weight. If you're an overweight person, do not think about that scale. Your body is going through far too much. People who quit smoking and then don't understand why the scale isn't moving anymore. Well, you just threw your body into a whole bunch of upheaval. Your body's now in healing mode. It's trying to heal from years and years and years of damage. And it's just not going to do what you expect it to do. So I applaud you and I hope that you find all the success you need, but I wouldn't push it. I would say, okay, I'm doing the sober thing, I'm doing the no smoking thing, and you can work on the sugar and the carbs and all that stuff, but I would do that slowly as to not throw the other two things off track. You don't want to keep too many plates spinning in the air because there's going to be daily stress that's just going to drive you nuts. Bills, work, all those things are just going to be tugging at you. Jeanette says, don't set yourself up so difficult. The drink here is January 2nd, sugar 2. Smoking has been a real challenge lately. Stopped 3 times since September, and the minute stress comes along. Yeah, the thing is one of the things that I've noticed since I quit smoking is I'm a lot less stressed now that I don't smoke. Once you can kind of get over that stress hump, I think your body recognizes stress differently. I think your body manufactures amount of stress when you're smoking because it knows if you're too stressed out, you're going to go smoke. And I just think that that's something that I found. That was an equals 1 for me. I would be at work and I'd be so frustrated. I have to go smoke. I have to go smoke. Oh my goodness. I got 10 minutes so I can go smoke. Oh my goodness. Oh. And then when I quit, I finally realized that stuff didn't really bother me. I didn't need those breaks to go smoke because I wasn't as stressed as I thought I was. I think it's a manufactured stress. Sonny says, December 1st of 2018, I stopped drinking 2 2-liter bottles of Pepsi, pack and a half a day of cigarettes, and very strong pain pills after years of use. It was very, very hard, but very, very worth it. Oh, I want that's amazing, Sonny. Fantastic. I'm so very proud of you. Very, very proud of you. Cindy's here. She just woke up. You've been getting all them baby cuddles. I'm jealous. Those squishy, warm baby cuddles. Oh, the baby neck, the milk neck smell. Oh, I love it. I miss it. That was the way to do it. Trim one at a time, increment success. Cold turkey creates worse health and physical emotion triggers. Yeah, that's 1000%. Chris says, good advice. The scale is a BS place to focus 99% of the time. Simple, consistent, sustainable changes. Eat your meat, love your life. That's right. Chris, you know it should be eat your meat and love your wife. I got you. I got you. Let's see. Not for me, Carl. I need to do it that way. I tried many times to quit and would always go back. Now I don't want to go back because the pain of quitting again is very real. That's just, yeah. Evelyn says, I'm married to a recovering addict. Sugar has been the hardest, and if pushed too hard, he will backslide. Yeah. That's the thing is you just got to give yourself grace. Wait, I was? I didn't know that. What did I say? What happened? I don't even know. Yeah. I'll never understand the appeal of smoking. For me, it was like friends and my friends smoked because we were stupid and peer pressure. And then there is kind of a euphoric feeling when you first start that goes away, you never get again. But the only thing is you get that whole like you go out and you're stressed out and you smoke that cigarette. And there's a weird thing going on right now. I don't know if anybody else has noticed this, and let me know if you have noticed this. But I've seen a lot of like Andrew Huberman and different people are talking about utilizing nicotine because they're saying nicotine is powerful against things like viruses and such. And I need to see more information on this because I'm not about to start putting nicotine in my body for no reason. Because I know when I smoked, I'd still get sick. So I don't know really what's happening. Cindy says he's always a brat. And Carl says, secret, start moving from skim milk to 1% to 2% to whole, half to heavy cream with carrageenan to heavy cream without carrageenan. I don't think there's any doubt that Chris. Oh, I know he does. I know he does. And she loves a him too. It's kind of gross, actually. It's kind of sickening in person. You know what I mean? It's just kind of just oozes. It's like, like get a room. I'm just trying to get you in trouble with Cindy like a pot stirring sibling. Yes. I love it. Carl says, I'm such an addict. That often say I don't eat food for the flavor. I eat it for the sugar buzz. Yeah. And that's the thing is like a lot of times we'll eat food that's we don't even like just because like, for me, there's like texture issues. Like there's things I'll just like it, like ice cream or like, have you ever sat down and ate a container of frosting? Like I love the texture of frosting and the flavor. And you don't even taste it after a few bites. You don't necessarily even taste it anymore, but you just eat it. The texture stays and like you just eat it and you're like, oh yeah. That was my problem, like the texture, like Oreos, or just the act of eating was a big thing for me. There is no appeal to smoking. Unfortunately, it's an addiction like sugar and the rest. Yeah. Yeah, she's my everything. Caleb's in the house. Good morning, Caleb. Just woke up. Well, you're also on the other side of the country, basically, So I understand that. It's like, what time o'clock is it to you? It's like it's almost 9:30 here. So, leach for a lucky instead of a sweet. That's a thing that people do. Or when they quit smoking cigarettes, they'll do something like, instead of having a cigarette, I'll eat a Twizzler. I had a friend when we were younger. She was like, I'm trying to quit smoking. So every time I want a cigarette, I eat a Twizzler. So I'm like, but you're just changing one addiction for another. But again, when I quit smoking, I took up coffee. So how ironic it would be if I quit smoking to not get cancer and then carrageenan gives me cancer. What am I going to do? You guys can make fun of me. He quit smoking to not get cancer, took up coffee and got cancer. Isn't it ironic? Don't you think? I don't wanna. You can't do it. You're too far away from us now. People saying hello. This is how I feel about it. Never. It's the Great Thrifter, Charlie Brown. My wife would love that. She's a thrifter too. Howdy, first time checking you out. Well, thank you for being here. I truly appreciate you. How are you? How's things going? Do you have a channel? Do you do a thrifting channel? That kind of stuff? Because my wife's been thrifting since 2002. It's her basic side business. She's also a nurse. She loves it. It's like an addiction. She hasn't even been to Goodwill in a while, so she probably needs to go soon. Or I might not make it. Everybody's saying hello. Yeah, so it's 7:30 your time. I got on here at 7:30. That's fine. So 2 hours difference. That's cool. That's cool. I went to 2 a.m. I went to bed much earlier than that. I went to bed like 10, I think. We watched this week's episode of Animal Control, and then we also watched an episode of Northern Exposure. Yeah, smoking makes you look cool. And there's the thing is, like, I was never so bored when I was smoking because you always had smoking. And in my apartment, you could smoke inside my apartment or whatever. You can just sit there and smoke, and you know what I mean. And then like, there's a definite boredom aspect to quitting smoking because you don't have to do it with your hands anymore. Just crazy things. It's just crazy, crazy things. Like, if you're a food addict, when I'm addicted to food. Like I go hours and hours and hours without even thinking about food now. I don't eat. I forget to eat. Sometimes I even just go, I probably should eat because I don't necessarily want to go 2 days without eating. If it gets too late, I won't want to eat. That's just the kind of thing that we think about. Brenda Foley is in the house. Good morning, Brenda. How are you doing, my dear? Everybody's saying hello to everyone. Cher went to bed at 2 a.m. Also was up almost an hour ago. Oh, my goodness. Gracious, gracious, gracious. Let's see. I love that song from Blues Traveler, but anyway, the line. TV told me to give up cigarettes because they cause cancer, but cancer got cancer anyway of too many television waves. Yes, give up cigarettes. All right. Father Fresher says, I thought sleeping would be the easiest part of quitting smoking. I have legitimately had exploding head syndrome the first 2 nights and tremors, cold turkey after 20 years. 15 years after quitting smoking, I still have dreams every so often where I'm doing something. And in my dream, I'm smoking a cigarette going, I can't believe I just threw away 15 years or whatever many years of non-smoking. In my dreams, I still have smoking dreams to this day. How crazy is that? I don't have like eating ice cream dreams or eating macaroni and cheese dreams. I have smoking dreams. How crazy is that? Rick said, I thought smoking looked like a baby sucking on a pacifier. I mean, that was a thing in middle school too. Kids were walking around with pacifiers in their mouths when I was in middle school. That was that whole like TLC ain't too proud to beg days. You know what I mean? It was the 90s. We wore our clothes backwards. It was a great time. I don't have a channel. I found your link last night from L&M. Well, fantastic. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you so much for being here. Truly appreciate that. I appreciate them so much for shouting me out last night. That was pretty awesome. Donna says, breakfast, 2 slices of sausage from the butcher, 3 scrambled eggs, and dusting on the tube. Now it's going to be a good day. Well, look at that. That makes me feel all the feels. Oh, my goodness. And Brenda says, absolutely marvelous. Thanks for asking. I pray for your... Oh, yeah, we're a lot better now. Even though Shannon was kind of coughing this morning, she's like, what's this? Why am I coughing again? I'm trying to get better. I feel a lot better. Caleb has said something interesting here. Caleb says, carnivore does not make me sleep less yet. That's the thing that I have not really experienced is the whole, I can only sleep like 2 hours a night. That is stupid. I can still sleep like 20 hours. I can go to bed and I can sleep all the sleeps. I can just sleep and sleep and sleep. I get up because I have to. I do find that, okay, ask this now. Do you guys, if you have a lifestyle that allows you to do this, do you feel better when your sleep is separated? Like I will sleep at night sometimes We'll get to bed late, and then I get up early with the granddaughter to make sure she gets to school, breakfast, all the whole 9 yards. And then I will lay back down later on for a nap. So I'll get maybe 4 hours of sleep, and then I'll have like another 3 to 4 hours of sleep. So I'm getting 8 hours just into 2 different chunks. And there's a school of thought that that's actually better for us than trying to go down for 8, 9 hours at a time. Because it's like it's harder on my body too. The longer I sleep, it's harder on my body, but I still need the sleep. So I'm just curious, I have never found that whole so many people will just be like, well, I don't need to sleep that much anymore. I'm up doing, like, you are crazy. I need sleep. Sleep is my friend. It's kind of a hobby. Okay. It's kind of a thing I do. Yeah. Father Fresher says that dream guilt is real. It really is. And Caleb is not wrong. 8, 9 hours or so. Yeah. You're like, I don't need to sleep that much anymore. You are insane. I need sleep. Sleep, coffee, repeat. Mm. Oh, I do love coffee. It is so delicious. Chris says, I think that the hardest thing you've tried to give up will come back to you in your dreams. I dream of binging on slushies, sodas, and savory carbs sometimes and wake up relieved it wasn't real. I mean, there's been other things that I've woken up to. Like, I've had dreams where, like, I was working at an office for the first time, and I've been there for years. I was there for 12 years, and I would dream in the middle. I would dream that I quit that job and went back to the old warehouse job that I'd worked before. Now, this warehouse job was gone. Company didn't even exist anymore. But I would dream that I gave it up, and I'm like talking with my old manager, and I'm trying to do work, and I'm thinking, how did I get here? Why am I working here? I don't like second shift. I want to go back to working my office job. First shift, I get to do stuff in the evenings. Why did I quit that job, and why am I here? It was weird. And I had that dream a lot. Or you've all had the dream where you're walking through high school and you can't remember where your locker is. You don't know your locker combination, and you don't know what class is next. You don't even know what books you need. I've even had dreams where I'm like, I haven't even been to this class at all this semester. I haven't turned any homework in. I haven't done anything. I'm 45 years old. Dreams are a weird thing because you'll dream about stuff that has not even really that important to your life anymore. High school. I haven't been in high school since 1998. Caleb used to dream about donuts. I feel you. Chris says, I experienced carnivore sleep for about 3 weeks. And when I did the first time, started about 1 month in. Since it's a normal 8 hours, but it's pretty quality now. Yeah. I've never been able to run on 2 to 4 hours like a carnivore super sleeper. Yeah, I don't understand that. That doesn't make any sense to me. I guess there's just people that are wired differently. Let's see. Lots of countries have siestas. It's better for you, in my honest opinion. However, I normally sleep about 6 hours a night. That's my norm, keto or not. Yeah. I like a good nap during the day. Sometimes even like an hour will just totally just. Sean says, I still get the meat sweats from time to time, but it usually doesn't happen at night. I used to leave a sweat angle in the bed when I ate like crap. I turn my pillow over a lot. I still have that every once in a while. I think that just comes down to quality of sleep. All right, so let's see. The great thrifter says, I'm the opposite. I hate sleeping, but I'm always working, listing on eBay. If I'm sitting and listing, I'm like I'm right now. Yeah. That's what the wife loves. She loves taking the photos and listing and doing all that stuff. Let's see. I can run 4 hours pretty well. I think I got that genetically from my dad, though. Yeah, I just think we were designed to. I think there's a different people were designed to sleep differently. It depends on like kind of where you come from, and were you worried about running from hyenas or lions and tigers and bears? Oh my! Let's see. Donna says to the great thrifter, I need someone like you to research and post my 5,000 cookbooks. That's a lot. And like what Shander will say sometimes to people who like want her to list stuff for them, it's probably not worth it. Like my stepdad has always wanted me to He's like, when I go, there's $1 million of stuff in this house. I'm like, he's got DVDs and VHS tapes, thousands and thousands of them. And I'm like, really? It would probably be better off to sell them as a lot, because the time it would take to photograph, list, and then you're going to make $1. You may sell them for $1 or $2 each. Maybe it's not worth it. You know what I mean? Let's see. Sherry says, 8 to 9 hours of sleep. The older you get, the less you need. My average sleep is 5 to 6 hours, and I'm fully rested. And I'm 68. I think that maybe as you do get older, maybe. But I love sleep. Sleep is good. And Brenda says, in college, they taught us a study that only after 4 hours, they tested and retained info better after more than 5 to 6, 7, 8 hours. Okay. You have that dream and eating a great big marshmallow, wake up and your pillow is gone. Oh my goodness. Yeah, that and graham crackers followed the mattress was gone, sleeping on a box spring. Oh, no bueno. I couldn't run from hyenas. I could not either. Cindy only gets about 6 hours a night. I don't think anyone could, honestly. I'm sure there are some people out there who could run from hyenas. Well, actually, I don't know how fast they run. Me either. I just know how Ed laughs. You guys remember Ed? Ed the hyena? You remember how he laughs? I didn't say I didn't warn you about being here. You guys chose to be here, okay? It's not my fault. I love coffee. It's so delicious. Caleb, I don't want to find out either. You don't want to go to the zoo and just see how fast they run? Just be in there with them? Here, puppy, puppy, puppy. Mm. Sean says, I don't run from things. That's why I carry. And that's what I always tell everybody. If you see me running, follow, because something bad's coming. Because if I'm running, something's real bad happening. Because I'm not a runner either. I also carry. So I'm like, you know what? If I'm running, I mean, something ain't going to be stopped with what I've got with me. Caleb says he's too young to carry. I would, yes. I think if you're an adult, you should be an adult. That's one thing too. Like the idea that like you're an adult at 18, but then like you gotta like separate out all the stuff that makes you an adult until you're 21. You know, they're also talking about lowering the legal age to vote to 16. It's like, are you an adult at 16, 18, 21? When are you actually an adult? You know, should you be able to smoke at 18? Should you be able to purchase firearms at 18? Should you be able to do all the things at 18 because you turn to be? Are you an adult or aren't you? I mean, or they can just say, you know what, you're not fully an adult until you're 25, so you can't do anything until you're 25. Can't drive to your 25, can't do buy alcohol to your 25, or they're going to do it to 16. You can drive at 16, you know, but you can't do anything else at 16. And then when you turn 18, really the only thing you can do is play the lottery. Can't even buy cigarettes anymore. That's just crazy to me. At what point? You know what I mean? Like, yeah. Cindy says, we met with Rick yesterday for lunch. We spent about 5 hours with him. What a great guy. That's amazing. That's so awesome. But I can't yet. Yep. If I'm running, I got mouthy with my wife. My wife doesn't run either. She knows where I sleep. Donna says, my hubs is listening. What coffee is in your cup? I love Buc-ee's. They're the best. It is espresso because our coffee machine broke. So it's just powdered espresso, butter, and heavy cream. Sherry says, I'm a night owl and I also an early riser. I sleep, let my body decide how long. That's one of the best things in the world is when you go to bed with no alarm set for the next day. You know? Caleb's carnivore quest. So Caleb says that depends on the individual mind. Let's see. I will let you know when I grow up. 1000%. G420 says, Dustin, who came up with the name Keto Crusade? So awesome. That was Chris. Chris came up with Keto Crusade. That was Chris's brainchild, to have all of us get together on a monthly basis to talk about all the things and to call it Keto Crusade. And then I went and ran with it and came up with the artwork and all that stuff and the backgrounds and the intros and outros and all that stuff. As I was telling the guys the other day, it just kind of reminded me of Hammerfall. There's a band called Hammerfall. There's a song that's like called Legacy of Kings. And that just kind of reminds me, that has the whole vibe of the whole thing that we're going with. You know what I mean? So, yeah. Cindy says, I'm a great thrifter, Charlie Brown. That's a new special. I'm a great thrifter, Charlie Brown. What is your eBay store name? Let me put that up there for everybody to go and click on. Amy is here. Good morning, everyone. Woke up late. Got this crap again. Whole family sick. Ugh. It's coming back around. It's like it's just not going to go away. It's so bad. Right? You're killing me, Smalls. You're not wrong. But I like playing and I like making the intros and outros and all that stuff. Sean says, my ex-brother-in-law put hands on my sister once. He woke up to being tapped in the head with a cast iron skillet. She told him that he had to sleep sometime. He left a few days later. Proud of her. I'm proud of her too. Oh, you're killing me, Smalls. That's the name of your thing. I need to go look that up. %, positive feedback. 25,000 items sold. Movies, T-shirts, Nintendo Power magazine. Ooh, that vintage Care Bear TV tray. That's awesome. Let's see. Slumber Party Massacre 2, 1987 movie poster. Castlevania NES series, Nintendo Game Boy Advance. Fallout New Vegas. Jordash. Oh, man. Just look at all the stuff you've got in here. Some pretty cool. Edgar Winter Collection. Give it everything you've got. Easy Street CD. Ooh. Karate Champ. Deadly Towers. Super Mario World Nintendo NES 91 instruction manual. I'm just looking over all your stuff here to see what's going on. I love it. Atari 2600 radar lock. No game, just the box. That's pretty awesome. April O'Neil toy figure. That's dope. That's so awesome. I love it. I'm the idea guy. Dustin did the grunt work. Okay, let's see. So, Caleb, I don't really get your Killing Me Smalls. It's from the movie Sandlot. Watch that movie. It's good. Not 2. Watch Sandlot 1. It's such a great movie. It's a timeless classic. It's awesome. Chris says Dustin is great at those intro, outro things and artwork and outlines. My brain works very differently. Dustin is invaluable for the crusade the way in many ways. Yeah, it's a team effort. We got to do it together. Let's see. Amy says, I'm reading it backwards. I want to see what you said about Perfect Keto. I don't know about anything about it. Yeah, that's another thing. So Perfect Keto reached out to me. I was an affiliate with them for a long time. Probably about 2 years, maybe. Then about a year and a half or so ago, they had financial troubles. They had supply issues. They had a lot of issues, and their previous owner, CEO guy, kind of rebought the company, and they just kind of went dark. They really cut back on the amount of products that they were selling. They had like a keto mac and cheese, like a box mac and cheese, like craft style, but it was keto friendly. It was just really expensive. They have a good electrolyte. I have a black cherry electrolyte that I like. They have got some collagen powders and stuff that you can put in your coffees and things like that. They had like a sleep thing that Steve from Serious Keto liked. But they just kind of, when they went to that financial trouble, like I had been dealing with a lady for a bulk of the 10-year of my relationship with them. She then left the company, got a new job at another company doing the same thing. Then they gave me my new rep, and then he worked with me for about a month, and then just everything, all communication stopped. Like I couldn't even log into the portal anymore. I couldn't even look up my commissions. I couldn't look up anything. I don't even know if I ever got paid for everything, to be totally honest with you. I imagine I probably did, but I don't know for sure. And then, I reached out to them on Instagram about a year ago now. It was back last May. And then they're like, oh, yeah, well, send us an email. And I did. Nothing ever happened. Never got an email from them. I would still get ads and stuff, like emails from them, buy our stuff. But there was never anything for me as an affiliate. And so I kind of felt, I knew that they had been through some trouble. And the first thing that goes probably the affiliate program. Makes sense. But at least an email saying, hey, this is what happened. We know we were working with you. Our bad. This is what happened. This is what happened. We didn't mean for that to happen. But I never got anything like that. So they reached out to me like a couple days ago, and I signed up again with them, but I'm still not 100% sold on the fact that I will work with them again. I signed up because without signing up, I couldn't see what terms they were offering me, what benefits I would be able to bring to the table for you guys. And for most of you, there's not a lot of benefit for me working with Perfect Keto. There's no real downside for you either. If you're not into those kinds of products, it's not an issue for you. And even for me, I don't think there's a product that I could sell you, even Perfect Keto or Keto Chow Salty. There's no products that I offer to any of you that you can't live without. And I'm never going to tell you that you can't. Now, do the salty electrolytes make life easier? Sure. There's a lot of convenience aspects to the products that I deal with. There's a lot of consistency. Like, how can I maintain consistency in this lifestyle? Is a Keto Chow shake every once in a while going to kind of cut that sweet tooth that I have and only give me like 4 total carbs? Is it nice to have a shake, or is it nice to make, creamies? A whole pint of ice cream for 4 total carbs, or whatever it is, right? 7 total carbs for an entire pint of ice cream. Not net carbs, total carbs, provided you don't add any add-ins or anything like that. So there's nothing that I have in my affiliates links that you can't live without. I only try to offer things that bring you some kind of value. Is it something you might want to purchase? Am I going to be able to get you a discount? I'll even tell you, most of the time with Perfect Keto, buying it on a regular basis isn't the best plan. They do usually some kind of quarterly sale where you get 25% off, 30% off, sometimes upwards of 40% off. And those are the times, if you really want to stock up, that's the time to do it. But I'm never going to tell you that you need to buy something that I am selling, because nothing I'm selling is a necessity. Even if I get sponsored by somebody, I'm never going to tell you that it's a necessity. And we've talked about the possibility, the whole Element debacle. If Element were to reach out to me and offer me, a sum that I can't refuse, I've told you in advance, hey, if they offer me enough money, I'll probably take it, because it's a product that you all may not want to use, but a lot of people still do. And you understand from the beginning that I'm not ever going to sell you a product and tell you you need to use it. And I think there'd be a lot of things that need to change with Element and my channel for them to even want to work with me in the first place. So it's not something that's going to happen. Not to say that it's outside of the realm of possibilities as I grow as a channel. But I know that they do offer a significant sum of money to the people that promote their products. But you also have to keep up a certain sales number. And I don't necessarily know if I'll ever fit with that because I don't have a big, huge drive to sell those products. Even like, with for me, with excuse me, with Keto Chow, my link is there for you to get a discount whenever you decide to buy Keto Chow or you want to up your salty game or whatever. It's there. When they do a sale, they do a new product, I'll tell you about it. I'll make a little video about it. But never are you ever obligated to think you need to have that product. So that's how I feel right now with Perfect Keto. I need to look over their product lineup is very small now. It's a lot more supplement based than it was. They still have some keto treats and things like that. And like their Nova bars were really good. But I also heard that they've changed them some. And they used to be kind of, had like some chunks in them. They were chunky and chewy and crunchy. And now maybe not so much. I haven't tried them in a long time. But everything they sell is expensive. Any keto treat, any keto thing like that is more expensive than eating whole foods. But it's a matter of, are you getting value out of it? Is that something you need to be successful? You have to know that on your own. So me working with Perfect Keto, I decided to talk and reach out to you guys and find out how you felt about that. Because, I'm not even sure how I feel about it. I had another affiliate marketing person reach out to me and ask me if I wanted to work with one of their partners. And I said, I don't really have the capacity right now to work with another company. And I still kind of feel that way. But working with Perfect Keto is still something that I'm on the fence about because I don't feel they treated me right. But I don't necessarily know they didn't treat me right because of the harsh circumstances that they went through and probably the abrupt loss of employees that they probably had to go through to maintain solvency or whatever, right? So it's just one of those things I want to talk about because I'm not sure how I truly feel about it. I don't know if that offers enough value to you. I like their electrolytes. They have a black cherry electrolyte that tastes really good. Is it clean? No. I mean, is it filthy? No. It's got maltodextrin. It's a powder. Comes in a tub. But it's good. It's got pretty heavy electrolytes in it. Tastes pretty good. I like the flavor. I buy it with my own money. I have 3 tubs in my cabinet right now. I don't drink it often because it does have the maltodextrin and all that stuff. So, yeah, that's just kind of where I'm at with Perfect Keto. I mean, I don't want anybody ever thinking that the community comes second to any of the sponsors or companies that I work with because you guys come first. But also it costs money to keep the channel going. So if I can make a little bit of money from Perfect Keto and keep the channel going and you understand that I am not peddling something and making you think you have to buy it, that is never going to be the case with this channel. You need to buy meat. You need to buy eggs. You need to drink water. That's about it. You need to breathe air. You don't have to buy Keto Chow. You don't have to buy Salty. You don't have to buy Perfect Keto. I'm also an affiliate with Pork and Good Pork Rinds. But if you live in a place where Walmart sells them, it's a better value for you to buy them at Walmart than it is through me, even with a discount. And I don't get enough of a kickback for me to try to deceive you and say, buy it from me instead. Buy it from me if you want them and you can't get them in your area. By all means, buy some from me. And you can see that link at KetoSimple.shop. But I don't really promote that all that often. I just say, hey, if you want to see what I have to offer, go to KetoSimple.shop. You can look at the links, see what I've got, and see if that's interesting to you. You buy from them, it may help me out some. Every little bit helps. And that's why I want to be transparent about the foods we eat. I want to be transparent about the life we live. I mean, within reason. You don't need to know every aspect of my life, but And I want to be transparent about how this channel makes money. because memberships and AdSense, I don't make very much from AdSense. I make most of my money from super chats and sponsor or memberships. Memberships and super chats is really what keeps this channel going. YouTube is not the best at paying you out if you're just a small channel. Unless you're making millions of views, you're not really making that much money. I mean, even what Chris is doing, Chris has got a relatively large channel for our niche, and he's doing pretty well for himself. I mean, it's pretty well. You know, he's able to make this his life with with him and Ash and do their music and YouTube and that's sustainable for them. But still, that's not very much. Not if you calculate the hours and the work and all the product that they buy and all that stuff. I mean, I just think, I'm just transparent on my side of things. Like it's hard out there. You know, it's hard to do this. It's very rewarding, and like I told Jeffrey, he had messaged me, he had put a comment on the thing, and I was like, you guys mean the world to me. If I didn't have this community, I probably still wouldn't be doing YouTube because it doesn't pay enough. You guys, your support, you being here on Sunday mornings is huge, right? You guys come in here. There's 85 of you watching between the different platforms right now. That's huge. That means the absolute world to me. You guys give me super chats. You guys are members. You guys do what you can to help this channel out. You guys do, buy me a coffees. You buy stuff from my Keto Chow links and Salty and all that stuff. That goes so far to helping me maintain this channel. So, all right, Caleb, must have missed the memo of 50 years ago. Come on, it's from the 80s, okay? It might even be from the 90s, from the early 90s, 50 years ago. Why I oughta. Anyway, yes, the Sandlot. There'll be a test next Sunday. Because you're an L7 weenie. Anyway, look out. Your hero has returned. Who is it? I'm gonna make America healthy again and boycott Nestle. I'm gonna go on a limb and say I hate that term, make America healthy again. The hat looks like the other hat, and that drives me bananas. So I'm just saying it just seems like I want this place to be healthy, but I don't need some weird tagline and associations. We should just do it. I don't know. There's just things that drive me insane. Yeah. Nah, I watched like 4 movies. Well, you gotta watch The Sandlot. It's good. I want to save my slots. Oh, let's see. Amy says, Chris, that's why the three of you are perfect. Each of you brings something very special to the table. We are the lucky ones who benefit. Oh, that's amazing. Thank you so much. He says, yeah, thanks. Thanks. Try to associate those with the two. I just try to associate with those two so I look good by association. That's true. I am the handsome one. I almost got through that with a straight face. Let's see. New to reselling. I had 17 orders, have over 200 listings with more to do when we get back home. Oh, yeah. Caleb used to do reselling for a bit. Fun, fun, fun. Did it on Macari. I have a mint condition McDonald's Wizard of Oz full set of toys. Wonder how much it's worth with current craze. You never know. Let me see. What year were those, Evelyn? I could type. I gotta figure out what year they're from, Evelyn. Let me see. If they are, let's see. See, because you got to go in and look and see what's sold. Where's that? I don't even know where that is on here. I'm used to using the app. Oh, let's see. The 2007 set sold for $36. Lot of 16 sold for a best offer. Looks like it was less than 17 bucks. 15 bucks. 99 cents. A set of 8 Madame Alexander Wizard of Oz dolls, 2007, new in plastic, was $45. Yeah, so I don't know. Bacon and coffee is what's for breakfast. I'm going to make some coffee in a little bit. Sounds delicious. Or coffee. I need to make bacon. I've got coffee right here. Our line of China plates are McDonald's plates from the 80s, Evelyn. Nice. Let's see. No one will sponsor my channel. I imagine I think, the iguanas would sponsor for you to stop eating iguanas. The Iguana Council will sponsor you. Eat more chicken. Oh. I don't know, Rick. There are some bears out there that would love to sponsor your duck hunts. I bet so. Let's see. Donna says, I prefer buy me a coffee or super chats to support channels directly, except CC him because his discount Keto Chow code is his name. Easy to remember. Yeah, for us, really, it's just the link. You just click the link and you're good to go. Yeah, I mean, realistically, buy me a coffee, we get the biggest return. Like the super chats and the memberships, we only get like 70%, like 69% of what you guys give to us, and the rest goes to YouTube. So buy me a coffee is a good way to support the channel as well. But, every little bit helps. Karen says, I only buy the black cherry electrolytes for my husband. Other items, Nola bars, I like too well. Yeah, they're so good. They're expensive. They're $22 a box for like 8 of them. Yeah, I gotta click the links. Let's see. Any keto alcohol or like alcohol for like drinking keto alcohol? I mean, realistically, it's hard to stay in ketosis when you're drinking, but it's usually like very, very short. Like if you're just having it, I have a whiskey every once in a while, out with friends or whatever on a vacation. I have a whiskey. Maybe sometimes I might have like one of those little frou little drinks or something. You know what I mean? But we don't drink often. But really, like just like the hard liquor, like vodka and whiskey and stuff that aren't flavored, are typically relatively low in sugar because the alcohol is then your body burns alcohol like sugar. So it's just a matter of things. Has anybody tried dried keto chow on pork rinds? I want to. I have not. That just doesn't seem to me to be a very cost-effective way to use keto chow, to be honest with you. And it seems very powdery. I don't know. I want to, Evelyn, says Cindy, but haven't yet. Let's see. Bride's Biscuit. You can make pretty clean Element Raw knockoff with bulk potassium, sodium, magnesium for about 25% the cost. I'll squeeze half a lemon and add some allulose. And that's one of the things about Element that is really great is they do provide you with a recipe for making their product. And really, it's not, that's the same thing, like really salty and all those things. They really are a convenience factor. It's ready to go. It's in a packet. You can pack it in a bag. You can take it with you. If you were, you can put it in your purse, put it in your car. You have it with you all the time. I think that's the main selling point. A lot of people don't want to buy stuff in bulk and make it and mix it and have it. And it doesn't always taste the same. I tried making my own, and it kind of tastes like pool water a little bit, and I wasn't very happy with that. So let's see. Chris says transparency is good. Knowing the color of my underwear too transparent. Well, what underwear? That would be the question that I would ask today. Caleb makes his own electrolytes. It's very easy to. Yeah. Carl refuses to try the sweet flavors on pork rinds. He only wants the savory. I want the sweet. Yes, I'm not a wealthy man, just blessed. You are a very wealthy man with the people that you know. Bink, bink. Oh my goodness. Susan says you need a poker tourney. I'd love a poker tournament. That'd be a lot. I love playing poker. I love it. Just having the time to go and sit and play for 12 hours is pretty difficult these days. My age is showing with that statement. Let's see. Chris says, to be fair, Sandlot was 93. That was 32 years ago, Dustin. So actually, Caleb isn't that far off as we might suspect. You know what? I don't like you anymore. It's still a good movie. Nan Catlin is here. Good morning, Nan. Hello, everybody. Got to the live today. I'm so happy. I was going to say 90 years ago. You know what? You know where you can go? You can go on somewhere. I'll tell you what. Young little whippersnapper. You're going to meet us one day. Woo. Oh, people saying hello, hello, hello. I need to step away. I'll check to see if your live is still going. I'll be here till my coffee runs out. Buy him a coffee. I don't drink coffee. Finally signed up. Says Cindy to buy me a coffee. When I put in the description, I put it under buy Brian a coffee. Sounds good to me. So Sean's just curious. I know YouTube gets a cut from super chats, but do they do any extra to help the channel? Well, what it does is the best thing about super chats is when you have a lot of comments going, like say like Dr. Barry, or tonight when we do our keto thing, Keto Crusade. If there's a lot of comments coming in and you want to make sure yours stands out, that's the best way to do so. So really, if it's going quick and we're not, especially with a live like Keto Crusade, the Keto Crusade, we're not really there to focus on the chat, just talking with you guys as much as we have kind of an agenda. We have an outline. We have things that we want to talk about, things that we want to get off our chest, things that we want to, but we're also looking at your questions. But it's not like saying hello to we say hello to people, but like really trying to keep up with the chat is kind of a full-time gig. Like I have to bring in, like with my current StreamYard thing, I can only bring on one extra person to help me. So I'm going to probably bring on, I'm not sure whether Chris or Victor wants to do it. It'll probably be Chris, but I think he does more lives. So it'll be, we can put that in there, and that way we can both go in and flag comments that we want to touch on. So any super chats that come up, we can all look at those and we can talk about those. So I think that's true. The benefit of a super chat in the lives is just making sure your question, your comment, your support is shown. But I mean, if really just supporting the channel is one of the things, is realistically just like, I don't know how much, if you get a lot of super chats, if YouTube thinks you need to push that stuff out more, honestly don't know. I mean, because you can go back to old videos and do super thanks in those videos and stuff. And, if there's a video that's really helped you, you can always say thanks by putting a little, like a super thanks in there or whatever. I mean, all that, everything helps us. So just understand that, like on a monthly basis with YouTube, if we don't make at least $100 from our cut of whatever we make, AdSense, memberships, super chats, super stickers, all that stuff, we don't get a payment that month. So they only pay us if we hit $100. And thankfully, the last few months, I've been able to hit over $100 a month. But that's really, I think my biggest month on YouTube to date was just to go over $200. So we're not making a killing here, and we're not making lots and lots of money. In the grand scheme of things, YouTube is making a killing off of all of us who are in the membership program, but the partnership program. But and then that's not what we're here for. But it sure makes making the content so much easier. It helps us. Look, there's Jaheel. Good morning, sir. Hey, Dustin. Hi, Evelyn. Hi, everyone. Let's see. There's no keto alcohol, says Chris, but alcohol with little to no sugar lets you get back into ketosis quickly. Any hard liquor with no sugary stuff added, limited intake to rarely. It is a poison, I guess. You know what I mean? I mean, realistically, that's the way I live my life. I mean, I used to drink a lot. I used to drink on the weekends. Now, very hardly. I mean, we only have maybe 5 drinks a year, maybe. I mean, unless we go on a long, long vacation. But even when we went to Disney, we were there for like almost 2 weeks, and I don't think we hardly had any alcohol. I don't think we had any alcohol. I don't think I did. I think some of the kids, all of our kids are over 21 except for one right now. They had some. We had a pool, sitting by the pool, whatever. You know what I mean? Let's see. Don is asking Cindy, if I'm on Keto Chow website and use the CC and discount code, Chris gets nothing. I'm sorry, Chris, if I'll do better. Yeah, you got to go into our links and click on our links, whether it's Chris's, mine, Cindy's. When you click the link and it brings up this, you don't even have to put in a discount code at the end. If you click on our link, that's the thing, is because a lot of times people can go out there and make sure their discount codes are out there, but it's not really like, I don't really know. Chris had some reason why they went from discount codes or discount links versus codes, because I think eventually, like, it gets to the point where like the codes just kind of become common knowledge, and then people just use whatever code they can find. That's kind of what honey was, or honey was. You want to look into the honey debacle, take a look at that. So, Stacy says, I did use some baked potato keto chow on warm pork rinds. We like it. That sounds good. Let's see. Chris Cook in Nashville says, good question, Sean. YouTube doesn't help channels. Viewers watching makes YouTube see the videos as valuable, so viewers are what help the channel. Yeah. I mean, realistically, they're here to provide us a place to put our videos. They're here to provide us a platform to put our videos that can then, if certain criteria are met, we can make ad revenue for the videos. Understand that like a video, like I have like less than 24 videos on my channel that have 1,000 views or more. And really, you're not making any money on videos if they don't make at least 1,000. I mean, you can make pennies, but you're making little pennies. Like I make between like $5 and $9 per 1,000 views. So if I get a video that makes 1,000 views, I'm making $5 to $9. I mean, it's nothing. It's still money, still helps, but it's not like the gross amount that people think that, all YouTubers are making thousands and $1,000s a month. A Dr. Barry makes a good amount on YouTube. He makes a lot of super chats, but then he has his own, like then if you have networks like Mighty Networks, that's another source of income. I mean, it's like with any kind of anything, you got to build multiple streams of income. YouTube in of itself isn't enough. Then that's where sponsorships come in, and the more you want to grow, the more you want to reach, the bigger your channel you want to get. These are all things that you have to play into. But for me, while I'm not saying that isn't a goal of mine, my goal is to build a community first. And then with that community, I can take you guys bigger and better places and help more people. Because the bigger my community, the bigger our community, the bigger the community, the more people we can help. Because the more fragmented we are, the less we can do. So that's why I'm always going to be very transparent. I'm always going to be very open and ready to have people, whether you're keto or not, keto, paleo, I don't care what you are, vegan, standard American diet, whatever, you're just curious, come on in. We've got room for you. We're here. So we can't do this without you. And us doing this gets the voice. We're like a megaphone. Chris and I are like megaphones. But a megaphone sitting on a table doesn't do anybody any good unless the people come and make their voices heard too. So you got to use us to get your voices heard. That's why the videos you watch and the views you give us and, the super chats and the questions and the comments all give us an idea and a direction of where to go. So we know what you want to see, what we, and we also have an idea of what we want to talk about with the community. Like today, talking about how, the things that we've talked about today, whether it's perfect keto, we're talking about the cost of eating better. What's the diminishing return? Where are we spending too much money? Where can we spend less and get the best for our bang for our buck? How do we do that? Because that helps you guys. And the more we help you, the more you are successful. The more you're successful, the more people see you as successful and are more likely to pay attention and ask for help. Because none of us are trying to force anything down anybody's throat because it doesn't work. And that's where Keto Crusade is. We're out there just making a show, a spectacle, if you will. Hopefully people will tune in and people will pay attention. That's all we can hope is people pay attention to us. Pay attention to what we've done. Pay attention to our goals. Pay attention to the community. Realize that we are a fun-loving group of people that are really out to make a big difference in the world in a non-pressuring, non-asshole way, at least as far as I have anything to say about it. Chris says, Donna, you're fine. The discount code works for you, but clicking my actual Keto Chow link takes you to the website, and that helps me get a kickback. Yeah. If you just use the code, we don't get any money back, but that's fine too. But I mean, realistically, we're up there to make sure you get a discount. If we get a kickback, that's cool too. Jahil says, I come in here like 20 minutes ago when Dustin was cosplaying as Bianca Sensori. He's out of control. I don't even know what you just said there. I don't know those words in the order in which you said them. I do not know what's going on. I'm just here. Chris says, I can jump in, Dustin, no worries. We'll let Victor sit back and sip on a beverage in luxury. That's what Victor's there for. He's just there to look pretty. Rude. If it weren't for those in the chat, you would no reason to do lives. 100%. Yes, you are correct. But as we get to the point where the lives are bigger and the chat, because like the last time the guys and I were talking at the end of it, there were so many things in the chat we couldn't keep up, and we would try to click on things, and because we wanted to make sure we weren't missing important details. But the chat is important. But you have to understand what we're saying, Cindy. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? You know what I mean? You understand? You feel me? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Jill says, Hi, Chris. Saw your video with Dustin being outrageous in your kitchen. I don't know how you didn't call the cops on him. Dustin was tired from driving, so he was easy to contain. Yeah, and I had just gotten bad news too. So like the second half of that video was like me trying to like be upbeat. And it was hard. But that's what we do. Cindy says, I'm making pennies. Have you even got your first check yet, Cindy? It took me a while to get my first check. Chris says, this is why people who get upset with us for having private groups, sponsors, links, etc., just don't understand how hard it really is to sustain. It really is. And don't even ask what taxes were like as a self-employed YouTuber. Woo, no good. Chris, I'm not making enough to worry about affecting taxes. No 1099 here. You'll still get a 1099, I think, if you make over $600. I think. Let's see. Cindy, sure wish I didn't have to deal with it. They rake you over the coals for being a YouTuber. Yeah. I'm about to get my second deposit. That's super sweet. I love it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are coming up on the 3-hour mark. Can you believe it? 3 hours of looking at this. I apologize. Drinking my coffee, hanging out with you wonderful, wonderful people. You guys sit here and let me ramble on and on like I have something important to say. Thank you all so very much for all of your time, your friendship, the community aspect, the super chats, the gifted memberships. You truly mean the world to me. Jahil says stay at least 8 hours. Are you going to come over and hang out and watch this while I go to the bathroom? You're going to make me some more coffee? What's going to happen here, Jahil? You live in Jersey. Chris says everyone go support Dustin. Make sure use his links. Hit the thumbs up, share, subscribe. He deserves it. Yes, and do the same for Chris and Cindy and everybody else in here, because the more this community grows and thrives, the better it is for everybody else out there. And I can't say it any better than that, so I won't. Just say that I love you. Can't wait to see you guys on Tuesday. The Tuesday trifecta. There's Chris cooking Nashville, cooking something good for you. Sharon and I being goofy, and then heading on over to Keto Chow. to see what they have going on. And with that, I love all your faces. Thank you again for another amazing Sunday. Coffee was delicious. Your conversation was amazing. I love you. And here comes those credits.